you go through your like the chick's phone, you see
Wait,
like
you
old
do that?
DMs. Yeah,
You
I
do
do
that?
that. It's so bad. So like, I couldn't even imagine like her like fucking someone else. Like I respect that because like you really have to like let go of a lot of fear and ego.
Yeah, but that's not. I'm not really having to like deal with that. Believe it or not, you know.
Right.
It's not really. It's just. Yeah, it's weird when you're. It's almost like when you remove the
monogamy.
No, when you remove the temptation,
The pressure.
No,
maybe?
when you make it allowed, all of a sudden it becomes a lot less desirable.
It's less taboo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
when you're in an actual relationship, when people are, you start to trip and fantasize. But when it's like allowed, you're like, oh, that's going to be a bunch of work.
It
And
changes everything because then you're like, well, maybe I don't want to.
yeah,
Even though I kind of just want to, but not really.
yeah.
So Costa Rica, you
it's
guys
hard
were
to
there what? A
explain.
few weeks?
Yeah, but I was going to say like, so you didn't see, so I did a video about like these people.
Why did you talk shit or something? Why did he come after you?
I mean, he didn't really come after me. And I don't know how they saw this video, by the way. Did I talk to you about this?
You said they saw it on TikTok.
No,
and
I
DM'd you on
ma-
Instagram.
No,
right?
I made a video about these people who wouldn't let us sit at this big table with them.
They wouldn't share a table with these guys.
It's the video is now called the seating arrangements video. I didn't.
Who
really-
named that?
Me? Because I it's funny how everything ends up with a name.
Right.
Like all the videos on OF that we sell, they all have names. Like the lake
Right.
video or the video. I don't know, just different. Because you need a name. Things need to have names, or else you can't figure out how to. And then
Wait, have
there's-
any of you guys here subscribed to Pat's Only Fans page?
No.
Okay.
And then there's the gypsy video. Did you see that one? Okay, so we made a video. This guy was wandering the beach, and me and Oleg filmed him and asked him some questions. Wikum did a cool YouTube video about it, and 3 people hit me up randomly on Instagram. Yo, I saw the video you made. That's my boy.
Damn.
I know that fool.
Right.
In the turban is acting kind of weird and off. He was looking at us kind of weird, and then everyone's asked him to leave the premises, and he's like, because he was taking a shower over there, and then the people that work here were like, hey, you need to close to going like this. It's like a big flag. That looks like you're just. So what drugs are you on?
I just hear what I just said.
Come on, bro. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict. I haven't even had alcohol yet. That's the funniest thing. You're honest. You gotta be on something. I've been waiting to get water. I've been waiting to get the water stuff, and I still.
Okay, so this dude, 3 random people hit me up on Instagram and said, "Oh, that's my boy. We've been wondering where he was."
Damn. Wandering the beaches
Okay,
of Costa.
and then there were some people one person was upset and wrote this thing about this guy's claiming to be someone, whatever, but he's exploiting. So I didn't really ever say anything bad about that guy.
Yeah.
And then we did this other video about these people that wouldn't let us sit with them, right? And the whole town saw the video. So basically, I think what's happening right now is that it's just crazy. My social media is like actually finally has legs.
Right.
And the people, plus I think algorithms are getting smarter. And the
Yeah.
people which is incredible.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you posted a seating arrangement video in Costa Rica, and then people in Costa Rica are like, we saw your video.
Yeah.
But wait, the
People
guy
you
that
don't
was
know.
in the video
People
saw
you
the
don't
video?
know.
Yes.
And then they came up to you on social media? Or?
No, one of these fools. Well, one of the town drug dealer showed up at my hotel because he did his research. He looked at my story. He figured out where I was staying, and he just showed up the day we were leaving, and was like, "Pat, what's up, fool? What's up, Pat?" And I saw this fool, and because we're like where our hotel was, it was like there was sort of like this common area where you can eat and like get drinks, and we were sitting there eating before we were going to go take this shuttle or this van to the town where the airport was. And this fool showed up, and I'm like, right when I first saw him, I'm like, oh shit, like it's somebody that knows me, like some old homie or acquaintance, or maybe it's just a fan, right? Because he came up on some like super, like, what up, bro? But like really weirdly hostile. I found out once he started talking more that he just wasn't. It's just fucking.
What were his intentions?
Well, to prove something, which is funny because his shirt said "prove nothing." Did you see that?
No,
So there were a lot of people that were commenting about that, and as he walked away, Veronica said something about like, because he literally said like, "I'm just trying to prove a point," or I don't fucking know, but you got to watch the videos. I filmed the whole thing, the whole conversation that me and him had about how I'm a piece of shit and I shouldn't be calling people fat because I'm fat, which I actually never called him fat once we watched the video again. It's crazy how people create their own story about what you said. Like, I literally never in the video said he was fat. I said, oh, look at this dude. He's going to take up that whole side of the table because he didn't want us to sit there. And it wasn't even like it was like a playful, I mean, the video wasn't even like,
It wasn't mean.
it wasn't. It was just like, this is a crazy situation
That many of us have been in.
Yeah, and these motherfuckers are like, people take shit so personally, right? And it's like, I guess we could learn something from that. Like, we shouldn't be taking comments so personally.
Right.
But you know me. So this is a small town you're in, and these people live there.
Yeah.
See, I think you're dealing with like hillbilly mentality. Like, it's a small town, and
Yeah, but these are not locals.
but they live
These
there.
are expats.
But they live there now.
Yeah, they live there now, but they came from different places.
Right.
So that's the thing, is that I'm realizing that the worst type of fool is like the angry, hostile, aggressive American that goes and moves to Costa Rica, which is like the chillest spot ever. And like the people that were born and raised there are amazing, but they bring their fucking American bullshit there. And this guy's the town drug dealer, and his teeth were all fucked up and black, and you could tell he's probably on meth. And
So wait, you popped into an AA meeting while you were there? What was that like?
yeah, I did that too.
That's
and I
dope.
posted about that. No one really tripped on that, but I don't know. It's just,
What was the energy of an AA meeting in a place like the jungles of Costa Rica?
same as it would have been here.
Nice.
Just a bunch of Americans. That's the thing,
Okay.
is like, it's not, I don't know. You get good and bad wherever you go. It's not like this place is just like totally serene, and the longer you stay there and the more it's like a fucking you know when you're panning for gold and when you shake it up, like you start to see the different things, like I kind of like shook up the town a little. And like the drug dealer popped up, and like
Dogs were
like,
chasing these
like
guys.
you see like different things, but I feel like if you play it safe your whole life,
Right.
those things you don't ever get to see the truth. Like, I love that. That's like the whole learning to lose thing, is like, if you can just be honest and like walk into the truth about each situation, which most times is like, there's going to be some conflict. And if you're really being honest with the people in your life, you're going to have those uncomfortable conversations, like you and Rudy, or you and probably any of your friends, or you and
Anyone. Right.
yeah. And when you do those things, like everything gets better, but like it has to get like worse before it gets better. So we didn't just see the town drug dealer. We saw one of the guys at the tables is like some wannabe gangbanger who says like, oh, I'm not going to be able to walk down 3rd Street anymore. And as we were leaving the hotel, someone downstairs at our hotel that saw the guy was like, oh yeah, I had drama with that guy last year. He's like the town drama queen. And then like the guy who worked at our hotel, like, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like you can go to that town and not see it for what it really is.
Right.
If you just are polite and like boring. But like, we went there and fucking exposed everything. Everything was exposed to us.
Right.
Veronica found like, well, because we also had a fan that recognized us on the beach.
That's dope.
And then she hooked Veronica up with like the weed guy, who ended up being her surf instructor also. So we got to like vibe with that guy a little bit. And then she also hooked me up with the AA meeting, which I would have never been able to find. She knew someone who was going to AA. So yeah, and also you could almost say that all of this is an example of the power of social media.
Right.
All of it. Right? Like the fact that we met the fan, we got hooked up to the AA meeting. Local people got pissed off. They were just the thing that pissed everyone off was the fact that they were put on social media.
Right.
Which, I don't know. For me, I feel like I just allowed other human beings to see you.
So wait, I heard a comment
That's
you made
all I
on your
did.
social where you're like, "This is one of the best trips I've had." You said a comment to that
100%.
effect. All right, what was it about the trip?
I think that town, Nasara, is the illest town I've ever been to in my life.
Nice.
And I've been to a lot
Yeah,
of
so that's
towns.
what I was thinking. Like, damn, you're having the trip of your lifetime here, and you were gone more than 2 weeks. Seems like
Yeah.
you were gone a month.
This town, I don't even know how to fucking explain it. Everybody knows everybody. The beach has like incredible like waves. Like it's just like shore break. There's like a mile long beach and you can just kind of go in anywhere and like have decent waves to ride. And there's like really good restaurants and two roads. You rent the ATV and you just cruise around and it's a blue zone.
What's that mean?
There's like a few different blue zones in the world. It's a place where people live over 100
Damn.
because of like low stress, healthy eating, the weather. It's all these different
Components.
Wow.
that make for like a healthy, happy, long life. And this town is actually, the town was called Guaram or something. We need some fucking WD-40.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was cool.
So you brought your roommate with you on this trip? What was that like? Did you guys share a room? I think I saw you guys sharing a room at one point. Or?
Everybody asks about that. Why is he with you? Why is he That's like the question.
Why wouldn't he be? That guy's a character. But that must have been fun, no?
I feel like that's another thing that, like, you know, when you're in like a relation, I'm actually just really lucky that Veronica's chill, you know, because I feel like a lot of girls, they wouldn't want like someone else there.
Right.
But why? He makes it like fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it gets kind of boring with just
Right.
the two of us, and he's just.
I love the shit he's been giving you on his channel, by the way.
Yeah,
He gives you shit.
Oh,
like
yeah.
on his TikTok.
100%.
He goes in on Pat, bro.
Yeah. It's the best.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, huh?
So wait, Billy, what's your
Yeah.
life been like these past few weeks?
Same.
Okay.
Nothing new.
There we go.
Obsessed with the dating site.
Okay. How's that going?
It's just like a pastime now. I
Right.
just look at girls and I like them.
Look at this guy.
So
One-
you
one
don't
out of-
even
one
have
out of 10,000
headphones on.
actually
I mean,
respond.
he's just
Right.
We can't hear you.
Oh yeah.
But do you have headphones on?
My headphones are over there. I can hear you guys fine though.
Yeah, but when you can't hear yourself,
Oh yeah.
but just stay close to the mic and you'll be good.
It's an ongoing issue. What I
It's funny that like you might think that it's a problem, but it's actually makes you, and it's
Right.
kind of amazing.
can I ask you a little bit about Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Because I did research on it, and it's like an amazing place. One, they never had an army. There's no, I don't know what you call it, but they have no weapons, no army.
So you did research like before I went?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, it's an interesting place.
And it
dude.
has a plateau that's similar to here. The weather is like around 70 to 80 all the time on the plateau.
all the time.
Fuck. So you can't
And-
help but be happy there.
And then they have mountains, which get cold, and you have these crazy forests. And then by the ocean, it's really tropical. And I was like, did you see any cool wildlife, like butterflies or any?
Yeah, well, we went to a wildlife preserve place, and we saw the sloths are big out there.
Right.
And we saw monkeys, and it's a wildlife like preservation. So it's not like a zoo. It's a place that like brings like animals that are like sort of on the verge of extinction.
Yeah, there's
or
a
whatever.
problem with the sloths. They climb the wires and they get electrocuted, and they lose. Yeah,
They get hit by cars, attacked by dogs. They fall off.
And they're just like slow as shit. So there's the no defense.
Slow.
poor little guys.
Do you feel safe out there?
Yeah.
All right. Is COVID a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what did you want to know about
I want to
Costa
know
Rica?
about butterflies.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with butterflies.
Really?
Yeah.
There, you know what? I got to be honest. There was a moment where I was walking through the jungle on the way to the beach, and I was like, I wish Billy was here.
I would freak out.
He
Dude.
would
You'd never see
appreciate
me. I'd be like in the forest or something.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go. I really do want to start having like yearly learning to lose retreats where like we are able to like have a budget.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I think this house will bring us closer to that dream.
Oh, you know what?
a
That's
lot
what
quicker.
happened. While you were gone, I completely got out of debt. And I caught up on all my billing, and I have money saved.
Really?
I'm like, fuck, this has never happened. Yeah.
How?
It's just been the progression, and I got so behind. Plus unemployment, right now I'm and not having to pay for the entire family and everything they eat and do, and Angela wasn't working, and now I'm just live alone. I give them child support, but it's still less. So my situation has just gotten really almost, it's a little bit surreal.
Wow.
Good for you.
So that was cool. And then you left. I'm like, he's going to go to Costa Rica for a few days. And he was gone for like a month. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that you're leaving for a month?
It was supposed to just be like 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. It was supposed to be like a week and a half little thing. We just decided did I not tell you that we extended our stay?
You barely even mentioned, we're going to Costa Rica tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, and I feel like, yeah, you're not around as much anymore.
Do you like watch Pat's social media?
I just watch little bits of it because I feel like I live it.
Because I think that's what like everybody's always watching your shit. So like Billy doesn't see it, so he's like asking you the questions manually.
Manually.
Yeah, the good old fashioned way.
Yeah, no, everybody knows what I'm doing because I talk about it. But yeah, man, Billy even asked me, "Are we gonna do the pod?" I said you guys should do one while I was gone. But
I misunderstood. I thought, Wickum's going to be the guest. So I thought you were like, and then Wikum's going to be the guest.
I said you should just do one.
Well, I did. I showed up to a meeting, and there was one person there.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he came.
Mikey.
Yeah. You came later.
Damn, that's crazy that you showed up to the. Oh, he came later.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For the podcast, which you
Right.
didn't know was not happening, or you thought that you were gonna do with Pat that night.
Yeah. Pat and you.
Wait, what did he say?
Pat and you,
Yeah, well, no, I told Billy he should just do it with you.
right?
You guys could have just done it.
That would have been interesting.
And that, that's another thing is that we can do these. I think we should start doing shorter ones more often.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like we forget most podcasts are like 30 minutes, right?
Digestible.
Or an
Yeah.
hour. Like we talked about Costa Rica.
Those ones are disappointing to me. I like the long ones.
I know, me too.
Oh wait, I have a question. So who here still listens to Joe Rogan after he exclusively went to Spotify?
I haven't heard any. I haven't.
I do, but like,
I just like forgot about him.
yeah,
And but dude, at Spotify's investor meeting at the last quarter of 2020, they said they're like, all the money we invested into exclusive podcast content was worth nothing. Like nobody switched to it. Like people didn't follow Joe Rogan at all.
Really?
Yeah, they just like totally took an L.
Well, here's what I
And he almost took an L too, because like now his voice is less powerful because everybody
Really?
used to listen to him.
I don't
Give it time.
know if I believe that.
Right? Maybe I just feel that way.
Yeah, but what you said you saw some video or something?
Oh no, the Spotify thing is real. That was at their investor meeting, like telling their stockholders like we fucked up.
well,
Have you listened to him since?
yeah, I have, but
But you have Spotify.
the reason that I don't listen to Joe Rogan a lot right now is because of the quarantine. Because I'm not driving a lot. You know, I'm not driving like that.
I miss him, but I have so many apps and everything. I'm like, fuck, do I want to add another? Do you have to pay for Spotify?
There's a free version, but it has ads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was just like was wondering like what that could mean. Like Joe is like the best of podcasts, and like even he couldn't bring an audience to a different platform.
Relax, give him time, bro. Like his YouTube content, like they got to play there too, where like they're only going to be pushing some of his content on YouTube to push to the Spotify.
Right.
Like there's a plan behind this. Like that's a lot of money.
100 million.
Right. Like there's a plan behind this.
Well, whether it works or not, he's still rich.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he. Yeah, that is interesting.
It's like the beginning of Sirius when Howard Stern
no, but
first
I think
signed.
Wickum's onto something. I think it is important to like to take note of that. Like that's interesting.
You think everybody would follow? Like, dude, he was like a phenomenon, like
Yeah,
cultural.
but I don't know that that's changed. You're saying that I want to see this video you're talking about.
Okay, it's an article, but yeah,
And what did they say? They said that their investment is not.
they had no returns.
Yet.
Right.
But it's only been 3 months or so.
Well, because the people that are listening to
And he
him
just went exclusive.
are just continuing to listen to. I don't know if you can't.
Yeah, like it just became exclusive like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So
Only on
there's a
Spotify.
few different things to consider. One, you can still listen to Joe Rogan on Apple.
But not the new ones.
Okay, but there's a lot of old ones, right? I'm not caught up at all. First of all, there's that.
Yeah.
And then there's YouTube. Right? You can still listen to
Not the full ones, just the clips.
Oh, you can't
Just
listen
the
to
JRM
any of the
clips.
new ones
You
on
can.
YouTube.
No, you can. You could watch clips of the new ones. You can't watch like full videos. And
Right.
they upload less clips than he used to too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to it on Spotify, but it's like, it's a little bit, you know what the annoying thing is? You have to listen to the commercials.
Pay the
Oh, you don't
$9.
want to pay premium?
Wait, what?
Just pay the $9 and it's commercial free.
Then it's like
do.
Apple Music.
I mean, you
Are there still ads?
yeah. No.
Oh my
Wow.
God, that fucking sucks.
That's
No,
why.
I'm saying he's
His
before
ad.
his
oh,
podcast.
yeah, his in content.
He does like 5
minutes.
right.
ads, right? And each one is its own separate.
Clip.
You have to like skip through each
Yeah.
one. You can't just like fast forward like you could on Apple.
Which is a dope new
It's kind of annoying.
It's a dope new feature.
annoying.
It's pretty annoying.
Because that's the first thing you do when you open up Joe Rogan. You
Yeah.
skip to minute
So
20.
that's kind of annoying. Also, it's like a new platform for me, so I'm like, getting kind of a little bit used to it. And what was another thing? Yeah, the way that like Apple saves your last, you just start listening to the last one, it catches you right up. Yeah, I don't know.
I think their podcast app is so I hate the Apple podcast. It doesn't make any sense. Like it like auto downloads every podcast that
Yeah,
you subscribe to.
it's annoying.
It's so and it's organized so bad. I just watch all my podcasts on YouTube, and I have YouTube Premium, so I just let the audio run in my car. Fuck that. But yeah.
What do you listen to?
I listen to like a lot of YouTube like tech podcasts. Comic book shit, like really nerdy shit.
What kind of comic book?
Just like talking about rumors of like the new Marvel movies and like what's happening behind the scenes and like who's getting cast and how much money they have and like where they're gonna go with everything.
Like the industry types.
Yeah.
So you did a TikTok video. I guess it won't really translate on the podcast, but
the therapist one.
Yeah.
Oh, I deleted it. You're gonna get this.
Wait, what do you mean?
I deleted it.
Wait, you deleted
The
what?
therapist TikTok. Is that what you're talking about, right?
No, the one where it's like, "Hi, hey, I'm here," and then it's like,
Oh yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
addiction. Hi,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my dreams.
It's this one. It's this
yeah,
one.
Here,
the
watch.
green.
Show Billy.
Hi.
Hi. Look, it's no secret.
Hi.
Hello? It is no secret. Hi, everyone.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah, but he didn't get to really read it. Like you got to watch it again to understand it.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Look, it's no secret. Hello? Hi, everyone.
You know, that is like that right there is the magic of TikTok.
Right.
Somebody took a clip from The Office where it's just like a random. That clip was never meant to be.
Yeah, it's not even like a
anything
funny.
big,
Yeah.
but someone took that and they made it about their life. And this annoying guy who
Yeah.
like says hi and interrupts everyone, and it's like you get what you get the video. It's like substance abuse issues, like getting
Yeah.
in the way of all your plans, you know. So I saw that and I was like, wow, like, did you just do that so that you could have like a trend video, or did you do that because you're actually dealing with substance abuse issues right now?
Yeah, I did it because I'm actually probably dealing because my psychiatrist, she like officially 2 weeks ago diagnosed me with substance abuse disorder. She's like, I'm not sure about the bipolar and the ADHD and all that, but like one thing I know for sure is substance abuse disorder, and I don't want to get sober, and I also don't like see myself going down any like downhill. But she says I'm really high functioning, so she doesn't like buy that.
So like why is she saying, what are you're just smoking a lot of weed? You're telling you're telling her that.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
I tell her how much I drink and smoke.
And why don't you tell us?
Oh, well, I smoke weed every day, and then I drink alcohol with my friends like 3 times a week, maybe less. And then like, yeah,
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I think that like being an addict or an alcoholic is like different from like having an issue with like
right.
drugs and alcohol. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't really see clear, like obvious signs of like alcoholism. I see like, yeah, like maybe if you worked out some of your issues and, you know, grew up a little bit, which will happen organically, you could be okay without doing it as much and maybe be a little bit better off. But
Right.
I don't know, like, yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking though. Do you really want to be high every day for 10 years?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Like, it just makes everything more like entertaining and like it makes art better. It makes music better. It helps me relax after a long day. It's pretty dope.
So you don't start till after you get your work done? and
Yeah,
stuff?
I don't smoke when I work.
Oh, well,
That's the
good.
only time I don't.
But that's like,
Aren't you working all the time?
I don't know if that's not a clear example of like someone who's not an alcoholic. I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, my thing was I'd get up, take a piss, and smoke a big fat bong load every day,
No matter what.
no matter what.
Right.
You're
Which I've done that too, though.
But you're
in the
not.
past.
But
Yeah, I'm not doing it now. No.
Yeah, and just the fact, I mean, do you talk to your psychiatrist about that? Like,
About what?
Like how you're not doing it when you work.
Yeah, she thinks that like this is all. She says I have this pattern where I like I come from like a gnarly like depressive episode, like the mental hospital, and then like I do really good. Like I get that like Marvel job, and then I get everything, and then I like use a lot, and then she says I like pretty much like break down and go down to another depressive episode again. But like I don't feel like that's true, but it's tricky because like I don't know if I'm lying to myself on some level. But I really feel like right now I have the best handle on life that I've had in a while.
But here's probably the thing too. Like I was diagnosed with cyclical depression at one time. Who fucking knows if they were right? I diagnosed myself basically, and they're like, okay, that sounds good. But if and when you get depressed, whether it's drug induced or not, the drugs might just make it worse. You know, because you might go harder with that shit. because you're feeling
Microdosing got me
depressed.
out of depression. I was like in a fucked up state, and yeah, a good friend of mine was like, I've been microdosing as a way to not be depressed.
For how long?
So I did that for 30 days, and it was nice. Like I saw things more vividly. Like I was happier. I was functioning.
Mushrooms?
Yeah.
Veronica mentioned.
I think it's awesome. I did it too for another reason, and it was kind of great.
Yeah.
Veronica was mentioning to me how you used to be aggressive and angry, and then you just like stopped.
Right.
She was saying that like I need to do that, but I don't
know about that.
I don't remember exactly what she was talking about, but I was upset about something, probably something Tim related, or I was angry.
Oh, that's the big drama. Yeah.
What?
Tim and his shenanigans.
What do you mean? That's the big.
Rudy had to.
Oh, that's.
Wait,
am I
let's hear
allowed
it.
to talk about that? I forget.
Well, no. So while, so like, before the dude showed up at the fucking hotel to talk shit to me, we were getting like messages from some of the people at the table, like talking shit.
That same night?
No, like before he showed up,
okay.
the people that we posted the video about were like hitting us up on social media, and the restaurant actually asked me to take the video down.
Damn.
Like, no, fuck
Right.
you. Wasn't even talking shit about anyone, dude. Chill out.
Right.
While that's happening,
The restaurant saw it too.
yeah. Crazy, right?
But how? Why?
That's got clout,
I feel
bro.
like that I could be wrong, but I feel like that couldn't have happened without TikTok. Like that, the TikTok algorithm like shows that video to people in that area. Like Instagram doesn't do that.
Now that you're big, they're following you around.
First of all, no one saw this video on TikTok. These were all Instagram people.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like harder to do.
Yeah.
So wait, so go back. So you guys had
But to your comment, 100%.
Yeah.
TikTok has fueled all my shit.
Yeah.
And now all my other things are good too. So it's like now those things are starting to grow. Because I make it a point to not just post. I'm not just reposting my TikTok videos on Instagram. They're like a little different.
Right.
There's
You're
a
putting
little
effort into
There's
it.
like different stuff on my Instagram, more stuff and like longer videos and like videos that aren't on TikTok. And then there's a lot of stuff on TikTok that isn't on Instagram. So it's like I'm trying to make it so if you are really a fan of what I'm doing, like you need to follow all the things. And a lot of people are. But so while we're getting these messages on Instagram and I'm kind of just like, Veronica sees activity on the, or no, Oleg sends us a video. I'll just show you the video. Martha just texted me, good meeting.
She sat through the meeting.
Some of it. So while we're dealing with this kind of, and I think Oh, and I had just called my dad, and he was like talking shit, like, you know, Martha's like all into the sober living thing, and you better call her and just blah blah blah. Like she wants to make sure that you're gonna really be like whatever. So I get off the phone with her, and I'm like looking at Veronica. Something else was going on that was like making our we were about to like leave. So, and then Oleg sends us this.
Hey Siri, play In My Beauty Flip
I just need to fit the dogs, you know?
Get the fuck out of here. Sneaking. You're not happy.
So we're
Patrick, I really like looking at you over there. So he's already got that.
Siri, play.
Wow, she's not modest at all, is she?
no, Tim can't even string a fucking sentence together. And this, so I'm showing them the video Oleg sent, which is like this naked girl who Veronica doesn't like, by the way, straight up, and has told Tim, I don't like that girl. I don't want her at my house. And now she's seeing a video of her naked
On your rug.
on the dog's rug, who she loves and is missing so much at this point. And then she goes into the drop cam, and now we're watching them. and this girl is just laying around the house, and you know,
Damn, it's like a softcore porno in your
Damn, you're
house while you're in
fucked up.
Costa Rica.
and Veronica's trying to talk to Tim through the drop cam, but the music's so loud, and his phone, he's not answering his phone, and they're not hearing us. So they're getting closer and closer to like fucking, and
On your couch.
yeah, and then so she was just pissed.
How are you feeling?
I don't really care about that shit as long as Tim is crushing
Right.
Ridge,
Love it.
but he's not.
Okay.
So I'm like even more pissed than she
Right.
is. Because I'm like, this motherfucker, dude. We're in, like, I got this debt. Our credit card is a little bit high, and COVID has prevented us from being able to work as much as we should be. So I'm like, you know, every day I'm kind of thinking, oh man, I wish we could pay off this credit card a little bit. And he's doing that, you know?
Why your house?
That's what I was thinking. Why his house?
Where else?
He's got his little
Doesn't he
place.
stay in the?
He doesn't have a
the
house. He
pool
stays in
room?
the pool.
house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he could brought her there.
Yeah.
Interesting choice though. Bring a naked chick to Pat's house.
Well,
I
I
love
mean-
it. You can just count on Tim for every 2 or 3 months to just do something fucked up, right?
Dude, one time, like, I went to Vegas with him, like, when I first started at Ridge, and he didn't come home at night because I was under 21, so I couldn't, like, go to any of the Vegas shit. So I stayed in the hotel, and he got back, like, really, really late, and he told me the next day that he fucked a bride-to-be the day before her wedding, like, in front of her bachelorettes. And he was like, yeah, I feel, like, kind of bad. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know if I should be, like, impressed or, like, mad or, like, both or, like
Man, he's a stud. Dude, that girl's hot.
Yeah.
It's like watching Pornhub or something.
Yeah. And he can't even talk.
Well, what is he on? Is he just drunk or high?
Well, he's like, when he drinks, he's been drinking so much for so long that I feel like his brain can't handle it anymore.
Whoa.
And he stops being able to like speak. It's really crazy. It's almost like scary.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
But I just, you know,
You know who Tim
I
reminds me
literally had just who?
This is fucked up. He's not going to hear this, is he?
No.
I mean, not in all ways, but you know Quagmire?
Yeah. So like literally like 2 days before this, I had to pay Troy out of my own pocket to go to the studio and unload all the gear from the van and check what do we need to get, to
Right.
just do an inventory on the gear, because all the gear that they had used on a job was just sitting in the van for almost a month.
That's scary.
Which, like, he took some of the lenses and the cameras out of the van and put them in the thing, but like, and it's not like he didn't want to, like, it's not like he was too lazy to unload the gear. He was just like okay with it being in the van because like the stuff that was in the van wouldn't have been ruined by weather. It was like light stands, and someone told him the stairs would be okay in the van because they're in the case. But like, I don't know. I don't want
your shit in a van.
I want the shit in the fucking. I want it all accounted for and organized inside the gear room. And I just like kind of like one day just was like, I went from like kind of being okay with it to like calling Tim and saying like, I want everything in the, like, I'm not okay with this. I'm frustrated. And he was like, you can't just like go from like being okay with it to being frustrated. And I'm like, well, I never was really okay with it. I just like said I was, cause I didn't want to like argue with you anymore. And I'm like kind of trusting you. And so the conclusion we came to was like, you know what? I am okay with it.
That's better because Martha was using the van too with all the shit in there. It's better to take it out.
Yeah. But like the point is, I just want to know that all the gear is accounted for. And when I asked him that question, he didn't know. So when I see that video, it just like, it just doesn't make me feel better about like the situation we're in, you know?
Right.
So yeah, that was some more. And I think that all of this should go in the Costa Rica episode.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like we could tell all this the whole story about like what we were going through in Costa Rica.
That video too, is the girl gonna be cool with it?
I don't care.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
You know, I mean, if we need to blur her face out, we can.
Yeah,
and that's it. But that's what we get. That's what we get.
Yeah, like she knew she was being filmed. Like,
What I still just like dumbfounded is how is Tim such a player?
Yeah.
How does he?
he's
pull
like,
that off?
well, he's like a good looking dude, but he also is like, he has like mad game. Like he like the way he talks to girls, like he just has game. He's like smooth as fuck.
He has no. It's not. He's actually not. He just has no shame. He has no shame. He's not afraid to look super corny and like cheesy and like lame and like get rejected. And he just doesn't, he has no shame. Like he's just always trying to be funny. He's always trying to be witty and he's like being nice to them and just he just tries.
So how do you react when you confronted him?
He just tries. And
I try. I don't pull like that.
No, but you have a lot of shame.
I don't even.
You don't want. You don't want to look. You don't want to look bad. You
Right.
don't want to say the wrong thing. You're.
He like genuinely doesn't give a fuck about like how he's perceived by them or in a way, or
He does, but he knows the truth, which is that like everybody looks bad. So like he's not really worried about. I mean, I guess the simplest way to say it is he just doesn't have any shame.
right.
How come we've never really got him on here and like really talked to him? Like, is he willing to talk about?
100%. We should do it next time.
guest.
100%.
So wait, so how did he react to you? Did he, when he sobered up and was like, "My bad"? Like, what was that like?
Well, it was Veronica that was upset with him. Not
You want to
me.
upset her?
I didn't tell him. I just texted him like, can we talk about Ridge and try to figure out what we're going to do moving forward? And let's have this. I want to try to have a finance meeting twice a month. And he's like, we should have it every week. We need to be militant this year. So he is going to. And that's the thing is like when he turns it on, like it's on,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Like he can get a lot of shit done, and he is a great partner. So like,
Yeah, it's like crazy because like I remember when I first started working at Ridge, like all of us like like, yeah, we were like scared of him, but we also like respected him because it just felt like he never made mistakes. Like he was like always on point. He was like super responsible. And like, if you like fucked up like one little thing, like he would notice. And then then I like saw this like other side of him that's like completely irresponsible. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. He's really a unique kind of an anomaly.
He's such an enigma for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I feel like growing up with him, like he always would do better than me on the tests that he never studied for. And he always would do really good on board games and like shit like that when you're hanging out. And like me and him have always been pretty competitive our whole life. And I don't know, like I feel like I've always thought this is a good person to have like on your team. And I've always kind of wanted to like work with him. And we did a lot of great shit with Ridge, and we're still going to be doing great shit. It's just hard when you're different. You have different, like I'm OCD and like organized, and like I want to like prepare and be ready and leave early, and but it's the same thing about the test, right? I do all that stuff and I still don't get a good grade as him. He doesn't do any of that and he gets a better grade than me. So it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like if you just show up, you can't like prevent the problems that are going to arise on set. You can't. Yeah, I don't care how prepared you are. That's why I don't.
So maybe his lack of fear or giving a fuck gives him an advantage.
100%.
He's just kind of relaxed or whatever.
And he almost operates better like under pressure and under in chaos. But I definitely am glad that I'm where I'm at, and you know, I this is the life that he has is the life that you get when you live that way for almost 40 years, which is not having a place or a girl or, you know.
Well, it sucks that your wife had to deal with that while you guys were on vacation.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
Is she real pissed?
She was. But this is another thing about him that it's a reoccurring theme with him. Like, he doesn't like respect other people's whatever situate. Like he would be okay with you doing that at his house
if he had a house.
Yeah. So he just assumes that you're okay with it.
Right.
That's fucked up.
I like your hairdo, the clean cut sides and stuff, and the longer on the top.
Thanks. Yeah. Just wish I was a little bit skinnier.
Wait, how's that been going? You've been training every Monday now for months. Seems like
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Savage.
But like I just spent 3 weeks like eating really bad.
So wait, you wouldn't join Veronica on her workouts? Because I'm sure she's militant about that stuff,
Yo,
right? Like
I wake up and she's already been to like 2 classes.
Right.
I'm like, you're so gnarly. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And smoked a bunch of weed too.
Right.
It's
Functioning.
like people. It's funny. Like Martha and my, or maybe it wasn't my dad. Maybe it was just Martha. Like, just a lot of people are worried about her. Like she's like not doing hair as much. She's like microdosing and smoking weed, and it's just like, what are you worrying about? Like she's so on point.
But wait, wasn't there like a 24-hour period where she was sober in Costa with you?
How did you know about that? Or
it was on your.
Yeah, well, 'cause she started getting kind of irritable because she like ran out of weed.
That'll happen.
Yeah, and I was like, this kind of worries me a little bit. That like.
What's like a smoker not having cigarettes or nicotine on them?
Yeah.
It's like, not that I have to smoke right now, but just the fact of not having it
Yeah.
is a sketch.
Yeah.
And also, like, when you're on vacation is like the best time to be high. Like, I'm like, fuck, I'm on vacation.
Right.
And I'm like completely sober.
So did she find weed on the island?
Yeah.
But
But she's also like okay with it. She would have been fine if she never had any.
Right.
And that's like the difference between her and me. Like she might have just been a little bit irritable and like I don't get to get away with the same shit I get away with.
do you still wake up in the middle of the night and eat?
Sometimes. Not as much though.
I do that
Actually.
too.
I wish I knew what that was.
Because I really think that's probably, at least going to be, it's not going to help. Of course, you know that, but
Yeah.
tanking
Did
up.
you hear that?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
It's a transmitter.
It's like the phone. It's one of our phones.
Oh, like vibrating on the table or something, probably.
No, it's one of our phones. Wi-Fi or something.
What were we talking about?
We not having weed.
All right.
On
So
vacation.
I just want to know, is this like one of the best trips you've had? Was it?
Yeah, it
Did
was.
you surf? Or what?
Well, I think for me, one of the best things was that we made like over 10 grand on OF.
Love it.
So
Oh,
we
you upped
made.
your
We went
game.
on this trip and just made money.
Right.
Because I kind of went hard promoting it, which also made me kind of scared because some shit was getting like flagged and like I just went full on. Like I don't know if you saw this post, but it was me like coming up to her on the beach, just going like, "Congrats! Like we did it! Like we got like." Just full transparency.
Love it.
Yeah.
Like we just got a bunch of subscribers and now like we're going to be able to pay for the trip. And like,
Yeah.
how cool is that people are just and I put subtitles, exclusive content, and the shit like started doing really, really well. And it got taken down. It got community guidelines for having a conversation with my wife on the beach. To turn off your Wi-Fi.
Mine's not on.
Just hold on. Shh.
It's off. Or airplane mode.
Yeah, that's what it is. Shh. Wow, that's funny. Like as soon as I put it on airplane mode, it made like a different sound,
Yeah, the lower.
and now it's done.
Yeah.
I think that was like the sound of it like turning off. Wait, hold on. Can you fucking believe that?
Yeah, it's insane.
Can I switch topics for a minute?
But I mean, we would have made money anyways,
Yeah.
but we were approaching the below 2,000 subs, which this is how you're getting paid. So I love that you're like concerned about that because that's like how we're going to stay afloat.
Right.
So when we got there, we were like at 1,900 subscribers. And I have this like invisible thing in my mind that's like, we need to stay above 2,000. And then by the end of the trip, we were at 2,500. We got 500 people to
That's dope.
subscribe.
Right.
for one month for sure, and then who knows?
Yeah.
Dude, OF's a trip. I spent $60 in like half an hour on OF once.
Yeah, it's insane.
And like, dude, they'll get me. Like, I'll just spend like chunks of money when I'm like super horny, and then like,
Yeah.
I'll like come, and then I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I just spent $60. And like, it's like
Yeah.
sometimes like when I'm about to do it, I like know that post cum Wikum is gonna be pissed, and I don't give a fuck. Like, I still do it.
Yeah.
I bet
crazy.
that even adds to something, like it's like gambling or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get it for free on Reddit.
Yeah, no, the leaks are dying. Like the Pornhub thing where they have only verified videos is all it's gonna do is make OF so much bigger. because now you can't leak people's shit.
Well,
Where
their
you gonna leak
OF's numbers were just ridiculous. They put out their numbers for last year recently, and they just crushed it. Like COVID did them justice.
Right.
So can you like go and just search or look at OF without joining, and then if you find someone you like, then you join?
Nope.
Or- so you just have to join and then subscribe,
No,
or
you
something?
can't even join. You can't. It's not that kind of a platform. You can only subscribe to one person at a time. You can't like browse the content.
So how do you even know what's on there?
Instagram
Pay.
Oh yeah, okay.
and
You mean-
TikTok for us. But do you know what we recently took our link trees out of our bio? We took that step.
the whole thing. And
The
what'd you,
whole
what'd you
link
put?
tree. Links in IG. Links on IG.
So then how did
Fuck
you
it.
spend
I'm not
$60
even trying to
an
get
hour?
tased.
Because like they have like private videos where they like you pay like $15 a month for their feed, and then they like DM you like
Oh, you want this or that? Or...
yeah, like private shit or like requests. And
But-
like
but-
one of them, it's weird because like one of them, I've been waiting for this. Is like I want someone I like know to go on OF. Like that's like not you guys. And this girl that I like went on a date with like a few years ago. I like follow her on social media. She's like popping on Instagram, and like she's like always had the biggest tits, and like me and my friends have like talked about her tits for like hours. And then she's had this video where she's like getting fucked, and you have to pay $25. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm paying $25. I've been waiting for this.
Love
And
it.
then like I like saw it, and then it was kind of like dark, and I was like, why does this feel dark? Because like his shit doesn't, but it's because they're married. Like her, I was thinking like imagine.
So you are peeking into Pat's OnlyFans.
no.
Okay.
No, but he doesn't need to.
Right.
He's making the video on YouTube about it, and you know we're posting enough content that's like teasing what it is.
Right,
that
so,
you know, there's a lot of risque stuff just on our YouTube and IG that like is alluding to it.
Right.
Plus, he's stumbled across some stuff just going through my phone. You know what I mean? But no, I really like where you're going with this, and I just want to say that I would like for our editor to possibly use this clip because I think what you're saying is important.
The dark thing.
Yeah, the fact that like I don't necessarily agree with or condone pornography. I think that when it's done in the right way with love and honesty, it's beautiful. And I think that's what me and Veronica are I mean, in the bio of our OnlyFans, it says, been together for 15 years and still love sex. How, you can too. This is how.
Right.
it's like sex therapy.
Yeah. And that's that's what's made us popular in general. A big part of that, a big part of why we're getting popular online is because, yeah, like people don't know how to have healthy relationships. And part of it is that I'm sober and she's not, and we make that work. I mean, how many couples are mad about the other person using or drinking? Probably 90%.
Right. It's relatable.
And we're fine with it. You can be too.
Yeah.
Just stop fucking pointing your finger at the other person all the time and point it at yourself.
I dig that.
So that's dope. But also like what you're saying is dope because like she's just trying to get money and she's selling her sex,
You guys, she's getting like fucked on a couch by some dude.
just some dude.
And I was just thinking like, if this was like my girlfriend or like if like if I like found that Jesse had OnlyFans, like I would be like destroy me like more than I already am. So like that's like my worst nightmare. And I'm like, why? And I just I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
You know what though?
But if like me and her got married and did it, it's different because like we're together until we die.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
But there's another element to it that's even higher level, which is like, and I don't know if you can relate to this or if you can tap into this, but like there's something about the person you're with being with someone else that's like the biggest turn on in the world.
Yeah, I do actually.
It's
like really hardcore relate to that.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
like
that.
it's and like it's dark and it's kind of painful, but at the same time, it's like there's just something about that that's like that just turns you on, and it's like, yeah, especially I think if that person still wants to be with you and you can be with them after they've done that, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that shit, like, I'm like weirdly turned on by that too, which is like doesn't make sense with how I like feel about certain things. And I was looking it up, and it's like considered a form of like psychological masochism. Like, you know what masochism is? It's where like people like whip themselves, like they feel pleasure through pain. It's the same concept, but psychologically. And like the pleasure pain barrier is like very thin.
But what about the part of it that's just like, oh, my partner is desired by other people? Like, what about that?
Well, then there's like this other like theory where like evolutionarily, like the reason our like dicks have like that like thing at the top is so that when we like when you like go into her vagina and you pull out, the back of it pulls out all the competing sperm. Because like back in the day, like with caveman shit, like they'd just be dropping loads in girls, and literally it was survival of the fittest. And so there's a biological reaction when they see that where they actually ejaculate more.
Right.
So I think it's like we still have that mechanism. It's just like outdated.
Oh, like if you've seen it, you blow a bigger load.
Yeah, because like on some level, you know that your load has to win.
It's competition.
Yeah.
It's good for you. Can I ask you something since we're all on this OnlyFans? That's new information. Thanks. I know I listen to a lot of science shit. I've never heard that one. So you're doing the OnlyFans. Let me just ask you this. Is it a turn on at all knowing you'll have an audience, or is it all like production and just trying to get the best thing?
1,000%.
It is.
We never had this much sex on any trip ever.
Whoa.
It's like, dude, it's just the fact that we're, you know, people want to see us, and we're like, we're like, she's now going on and responding to people and sending people stuff and responding to comments and messages. And I am too. And I mean, we can't spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes doing that without wanting to like hook up.
Right.
It just turns us on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because we're seeing ourselves in a way that's
like a new light.
desired by other people. And then, yeah, like when she edits one of our videos, it like turns her on, you know? So it's been really, really healthy for our marriage in ways that I can't even describe to people. Like, it's just so weird how, like, I was sharing about this in the meeting, like, humans just ruin everything. Right. It's like, why do we have to look at sex as this like bad thing? It's not right. It's not healthy.
Right.
And why did we have to make religion like a reason to see that in a bad light? Religion's not supposed to be.
Well,
I don't know.
I feel like if you look at the Older Testament, and it's literally written by different people, like each book, and sometimes they talk about like the same thing. Like sometimes I think that there's a group of people. Wait, fuck, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot what was I talking about?
Well, I was saying how humans have sort of made sex like a bad thing.
Oh, right. So like women, there's like 37 different types of like STDs they could get versus like a guy is like 8. So like that's, people say that's where like the unfair stigma of like girls being sluts but guys being players comes from. And then the same thing with what was it? What were we just talking about?
The Old Testament.
Right. So like there's like I feel like there's like a higher council of people. Like if there is no God and if there's no Jesus, there's like a higher council of people where they're all fucking and they're making babies and it's like ruining the economy. Like the species like isn't gonna survive. Like we have to like tell them that they're gonna go to hell if they don't like stay monogamous, or so they made up but like now we've like evolved. We have like birth control and like condoms and like and like less stigma, and we have like porn now, and so it's like different. It's kind of like antiquated a little bit, and I feel like that's where it came from. Maybe there's a theory.
Well, you got to realize that a lot of women died during childbirth, and there is a risk of getting pregnant, you know, back in the day. And can you even sustain kids and all that shit?
I just think it's funny you're wearing that shirt.
It's the Supreme, dog.
I know we're talking.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about like how religion, man, humans have sort of ruined religion,
Right.
And we've also like ruined in some ways how sex is viewed.
Yeah.
And we're ruining the planet.
Yeah, but that's a Supreme shirt.
Yeah. I got it from his shop.
Oh really?
Yeah, Milk Room.
Plug.
Yeah, man.
So wait, Billy, Bumble, how's that been working out for you? Talking to pretty girls,
It's Hinge. I've had a few girls that actually want to go on dates. But
different caliber of female on Hinge, right?
I don't know. I've never been on any other one, but some girl just showed up on my Snapchat naked and masturbating in front of me. Super hot young girl, right? And she's like, go to this site, go on my link. And I'm like, okay, I might as well give it a shot. But it's just it's a site where you have to spend coins, and the girls talk to you right away, and they're just trying to keep you talking, and you spend coins.
Right.
I knew it was bullshit. So Hinge is okay, except I haven't been motivated to even go out with any of the girls. I guess I'm not really.
But you're connecting.
I met one girl that I want to go out with, and we're supposed to be going out. She has a kid like close to my kid's age, and she seems cool and down to earth.
Look at Billy. Fucking
And she's close to my age, so that's good.
I don't even want to call it a transformation, but it's been so nice to like see your journey on this side of the fence, right? From when I first met you a few months ago, like I'm not gonna say it was the dark place, but it didn't feel. It was a different. Now you're like, I'm credit free. I'm talking to bitches on Hinge. I'm over here spending coins, like.
Well, I gotta say thank you, Pat and Veronica, because when my shit hit the fan, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, not only did they take me in, which was really generous, but I had this huge learning curve while I was there, and still am, just getting updated with tech. And you know, I'm living in their parents' place, which is there's frogs. It's just fucking beautiful, and I guess just the mentality, like all you all,
bro. You got catapulted into like the best college ever when it comes to like transitioning.
I'm buying stuff on Amazon now. I can actually buy something I like.
I mean, he didn't know how to use email, and he ended up living with like the most
tech
woke
and
like,
look,
social media, make money online,
right.
like use email, you know, whatever.
And here's the thing: in the beginning, he sat up at like 2 a.m. for hours changing my passwords. You know how frustrating that shit can be, and you know how Pat is. He's not like the most patient guy a lot of times.
Yeah.
And he sat there with me through all this. Me being an idiot. First of all, what's your password? I'm like, oh no. Right. And so yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you were.
We had to do a lot of that too. There's a lot.
But you know what's funny is, even though like I feel like a couple months ago I was trying to like, you know, get you to like say that or see that or give me some sort of accolade or validation for doing that. The truth is that like when you help people, you feel good, and we felt good about what we were doing, and it was equally for us as it was for you. And like you were chill, and you were like nice, and yeah, what you were going through was kind of it was just unfair. And
but I didn't realize till now where I'm in this place where like I know how to use the internet, and it's actually really a great tool
It's not that hard.
just for everyday life stuff,
Right.
you know?
But you were making it out to be this big thing.
It was a big, scary boogeyman for me. Yeah.
yeah, all the stuff, but it's really not that hard.
I figured it all out. Now I do everything.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on some shit. But
I there's also what I've learned is that there's also like if you can become a little bit more disciplined or like militant about like this comes naturally for someone like Wikum, but for me and anyone my age or older, like I even see you don't do it as well as I do sometimes.
What?
Like almost having it be a part of your muscle memory to like Google how to do something or just go to the internet and try to fix whatever problem you're having through the internet and this avenue rather than like whatever the old way.
Right.
You know, like
what did you call it? Manual? The manual?
The manual way.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like even today I was trying to fix my phone or whatever and I ended up calling tech support and doing all this shit I didn't really need to do. If I would have just like not called them
Yeah.
and gone on Apple, I could have just like maybe bought the Apple Care, had the thing delivered, the box delivered. I don't know that I even needed to talk to anybody to do what I wanted to do. I could have just done it all. Like we're trying to get verified right now. Thanks, Greg, for helping us, by the way. And it's like, I feel like there's just ways to achieve all your dreams just by typing buttons.
Right.
Yeah.
That
and
It's all out there.
and I feel like actually you
and the networking thing. Like now my hair cutter is a Beverly Hills, like he cuts famous people's hair, just like everything.
So there's a new platform coming out called Clubhouse. It's going to blow your mind as far as networking goes. So Clubhouse is this app that's been in beta now for like 6 months, and they only had like Silicon Valley people test this app. So what it is, it's like a party line meets a message board. So I can pop into a different room. People are having a discussion on a topic, and I can contribute to that topic real time by pressing my unmute button and talking into my phone. And this platform's going to not change, but it's going to help people communicate and network better. So just,
If it hits.
it's gonna, like, all the right people have just come on board.
Really? Networked
Grant
online.
Cardone is on there. Like, it's neat. I was in a room this morning with Tony Robbins and like 200 other people, and like I get to create dialogue with people I respect. So
yeah.
So you record it and send it to them?
no, it's real time. So I press the button and I'm a part of the conversation like we are here.
Do they have to invite you in?
So they invite you up on stage. So you go into a room and then you have a question, you raise your hand, and then they invite you up on stage, and then you can ask your question or engage in a
Wow,
dialogue.
So you could talk to anybody
Yeah.
potentially.
So it's invite only now, but so yeah, download it.
Well, I haven't networked online. I adopted his network, and then I have my own because all
Right.
my clients are, they're people with money and influence. So
How about your TikTok community? What are they like?
I haven't done a TikTok in forever.
But the people that are commenting and engaging on your posts, they seem like really cool people, right?
they're just down to earth
Love
people.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the other thing about technology is like before, if you didn't fuck with technology, like chill, and then the people who did were gonna go to Silicon Valley and be like way more successful and like understand, that's fine. But now it's coming to the point where it's like if you don't understand technology, now you're at a disadvantage because like
world's gonna leave
now
you
you
behind.
can't tell the difference between fake news and like real news, and like now you can't tell the difference between like because you don't know how to use the internet. And that's why I feel like something that's wrong with my parents is like they'll come to me and they'll talk about these like things that they swear that they happen, and I'm like, can you show me where you read that?
Right.
And it's like dailynews.ez.gov. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But like they don't know that. It's almost like learning how to fight. Like if you don't know how to fight, you're gonna get your ass beat. Like now they're just like pawns for Trump or whoever wants to control them.
Well, scams too. Like if you get all these scams come in all different ways, and now if you don't Google it or realize this is probably a scam and check it, you might get scammed too. So that's a thing. Like
right.
Yeah, dude. This is fucking so important. Knowing how to and dude, another thing I was tripping on when I was in Costa Rica was how this is like a bold statement, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. The most valuable commodity that a human being can have is followers. That's it.
We're all money.
It's followers.
I think it's information.
Having a
Right, 'cause
following
it's like a source of income.
is way more valuable than it's power.
Right.
If you have 1 million followers, you can do whatever you want. You want to start a company?
Yeah.
You want to go on a vacation for
You
free?
can go fight Mayweather.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do. I mean, it's just
Right?
like because it's basically like you can turn that into whatever you want to turn it into. You can turn it into a merch store. You can turn it into your own Netflix.
Right.
You
What a
can
beautiful
turn it
time
into-
we're in.
I mean, but here's the
Well, it all takes so much work too.
that's the
but-
catch.
But most people aren't willing to do the work. So the few
Well,
that
no,
do the work.
No, but here's the catch though. It's you can't just have it. I don't care how hard you work. You have to be willing to put your ass on the line. Like I'm
Right.
looking right now at Tall's last post.
Is there like a repost of it? Yeah.
That's not gonna play. Everybody is doing the meme page thing. Like everyone. Like there's too many people that are just regurgitating.
It's so disgusting and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because like
but it's okay.
No, but like in middle school, like memes were only for like nerds, and like I was like we like had memes, right? And then it became mainstream, and then it became part of culture, and then like companies like hijacked them. Like all those like meme
Right.
pages, like they're making fucking money, dude.
It's a big business.
Like I feel like they don't even like care about what they post. It's just like a money machine, and it's like
Wait,
disgusting.
Yeah, but
Wait,
hold on
wait,
a
wait,
second though. Do you know for sure that they're all making money? So I have a kid who's gonna come to our meeting next week. This kid Dougie House. I want you to start following him. He
Yeah,
has-
I know. I see him comment on all your shit.
He has over
Yeah.
a million.
I know. I trip on that. How he
you
comments on your shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, how does this guy?
He's the homie. He grew up in Agora. He's
Oh,
Troy's
wow.
friend. He's coming to our meeting. He's going to become a part of the crew. He loves what we're doing.
yeah.
I want to ask him if he's making money. His meme page is actually the most entertaining. Do you follow him?
No.
You should go follow him. He is like
Can I get a little information? A meme is where you take another post and you write something on it, like someone else's post, or
Yeah. Well, it's like a trendy like picture, like a funny reaction or something. And you like,
but it's something that's out there already. You take it and you,
and you put some relatable.
yeah, but it's not even just that. I feel like what we're talking about are just it's just like videos that will go viral. A car crashing, someone pulling off some crazy trick. This one I just showed you was a guy putting a missile into a thing and the earth shaking. It's just like has nothing to do with like Tall's one of my really good friends and I love him, but like how does that guy putting that missile, what does that have to do with your
And what's crazy is like he has like an insane life. Like and he has insane connections. You can just film himself with Steve Aoki and get a bunch of views. Like why
Well,
is he doing that?
right?
Like he knows so many
I-
people.
Well, I think what it comes down to is like what I'm talking about is the willingness to be vulnerable and expose yourself because you
Right.
don't want to look like he could literally. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different things that he could do, but it's hard. I remember when I first started talking into my phone, how weird it felt, even for me, even for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like I'm gonna be judged. People are gonna think that I'm like there's like he's one of the people, him and Tim, like I remember one time he commented on one of my posts, said you just look like you're trying too hard. And Tim used to say that to me too, like you're just like you're a try hard or what. And it's like, yeah,
I have to.
you're right. I am trying hard.
Right.
And I just saw someone from FaZe Clan and I fucking filmed them. Look who's here. It's the FaZe Clan guy. I don't give a shit. I just saw someone famous and I'm letting you know. But I'm also going to show you what happened at my house with my wife. And I'm just going to be fucking real all the time. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm not trying hard.
Right.
We're all out here trying hard. Some of us are being honest and some of us are trying to look cool. I don't want to look cool anymore. I'm over it. And I think that's the key
Right.
to this time right now. That
No,
might not
yeah,
have been
it
the
is key.
case 5 years ago, right? And that's another
That's
thing.
like literally what happened between Instagram and TikTok is what you said. What did you just say? That was fire.
I said, I'm not trying to look like
Cool anymore. I'm over it. So
Yeah,
many people say that about
over it.
Instagram. They're like, I don't want to like try to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Like, TikTok is like real.
That's why learning to lose is like so dope, because the what the brand stands for, you know, not only just what Billy can relate to as far as like vulnerability being our strength, but what you can relate to about like not trying to look like you're not trying. Like, you know, the cool guy in the corner of the party that's like not even trying. Like, fuck that guy. Like, I'm over that guy. You know what I mean? And you know what's crazy is when you go up and talk to that guy,
They're boring.
9 times out of 10, they're fucking so stupid and boring.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, but this wasn't, I don't know if this would have worked like 10 years ago.
I don't think so.
Because people would have just been like, this fool's trying too hard or whatever. I don't fucking know. All I know is this shit is changing. And dude, I just saw this amazing YouTube video about cancel culture. Bro, this guy said that if Chris D'Elia would have just fucking went online and just talked about what happened, people are getting canceled and they're like running away.
Right.
Because their lawyers are used to what it was like 10 years ago. They're like, yo, you need to just not engage,
Lay low.
Fucking. And this fucking guy on YouTube broke the whole shit down. He's like, no, you can't do that. You have to attack them back before they have a chance to do their hit piece. And the people that have done that have like gotten out of it.
Yeah.
Like this girl you're talking about. I don't know what her story is or whatever,
Yeah.
but she's not the type of chick who's going to be quiet.
You can't cancel her. Trisha Paytas.
Because she won't let you.
Yeah.
She'll be like, oh, yeah, you want to talk shit? What about you, bitch? Fuck you. You did this too. And this is really what I did. And that's like how I'm rolling too. And I was actually just thinking about this right now. We're opening a sober living called Graceland. We're in the house right now. Most of the shit we've talked about on this podcast would be considered taboo to talk about in a sober living. But I don't give a fuck. And just the other day, like just yesterday morning, Martha was like really concerned about like separating, like just hiding the whole OnlyFans thing, keeping it hidden. And that shit kind of scares me a little bit.
That she wants to keep it hidden? Or?
Just like, what if the community, the sober community in this area, found out and like labeled me like the fucking,
Go on. What?
yeah,
What are they
what?
gonna label you as?
Dude, so
the
many
guy that's helping people get sober, the guy who's inspiring.
That also is selling sex on OnlyFans.
Yeah. But if you really look into sober living people, so many of them are crooks, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but they're not. You can't like prove it. You can't like show somebody a video that Wikum.
yeah,
made
but you're not
where
a
my
crook.
wife
You're
is,
just
like-
doing some shit. Anyway, whatever. Fuck all them. Yours probably gonna blow harder than anyone because they're just like, yeah, that's
They're
cool.
scared
This
of
is
you.
modern. This is 2021.
I feel like you'd blow even harder if that happened to you. Like every time Jake Paul or Logan Paul has one of those, like Logan Paul made a vlog where he filmed a dead body. Did you know about that? Did you know about that?
The Japan.
in
one?
Japan.
Yeah.
No, not only did I know about it, but I went to Japan, and the guy who like escorted them like was like, I met him,
Yeah.
and he was telling me how fucking horrible of a people they were.
Ah.
And I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
That's your fucking stupid opinion. They're
Yeah.
winning.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to explain to Veronica the other day. I was like, blowing online and having fans, it comes with having enemies too.
Yeah. Like almost like proportionately. Like if you look
Right.
on Jake Paul's like
Right.
top comments, like even his top comments are all hate on his Instagram. Like it's not, where are his fans? I've never seen his fans.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
they're
all
only-
just haters.
But like meanwhile, this fool's like knocking out NBA players, the UFC. He's like making like the concept of a YouTuber like a real thing, and like
Yeah,
he's doing some like amazing shit. And
I mean, it's
people
just
hate.
controversial. I mean, there is a different. Well, the problem with what I'm talking about is I'm like doing it in the name of recovery and helping people, which for some reason is like worse than just doing it and not trying to help people. What is that? Like, what? I'm just trying to figure that out. Like, I'm way more susceptible to hate because I'm talking about like recovery and helping people.
It's almost like they see recovered people as like infants that can't live in the real world and need to be protected or something. But it's not reality.
No, and that's what I'm saying is like, yo, like this house should be co-ed. There should be people coming in and out of this house that aren't sober. I don't want drugs to be in this house, but I don't want people to be sheltered from real life just because they're in sober living. Maybe for the first 30 days or 60 days, but I want this house to feel alive. And when you leave this house, I want you to be able to be prepared to live in the real world. I don't get this. Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't be protecting like addicts. If anything, we're the ones who should be judging other drug addicts the least and other people that are doing the type of shit we did. Like, you know, when you're in a meeting and like the dirty bum walks into the meeting and everyone's like, ooh, like get out. We should be rolling up to that fool and like trying to help him. Because that was us.
Yeah, but also it's like sometimes they're drunk and they start talking while the speaker's
Yeah,
talking.
okay, but still, we were drunk.
Yeah.
Have some empathy for that person.
Yeah.
Don't,
No,
I mean, look.
I just support that, like, there is a real world, and, you know, but maybe you're right. Maybe in the first 90 days or something, you need to be protected.
I'm just here to say that I'm like excited about the future and I'm not afraid and I'm not ashamed. And I told her, I said, look, we're not doing anything illegal. Judge away. Judge away. We've been healthier and happier for longer than any fucking couple I know.
Yeah.
You could even use that in your promotion.
Motherfucker. Like,
if you want
you
to
know,
get,
like what you should be doing is looking at what we're doing and taking a piece from our fucking book and stop worrying about what everyone else is going to think.
Right.
But it is a little bit scary. You know, but like, I mean, her whole thing was like, you're not going to be doing OnlyFans in the house.
Well, obviously.
Like she, in her mind, we're
right,
like
you're filming upstairs.
No. In her mind, we're gonna like go and like film something with like one of the girls that like a client.
Right.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
that's like way boundary crossing, not chill.
Yeah.
But like, if one of our clients like expresses the desire to want to get into that, like, I think that there should be like a healthy discussion about like how they should do that,
right?
If they should do that and how they should do that and what that should look like. Because the truth is that like these exclusive like subscription based websites and platforms are becoming like a real way for kids to make money.
Fuck some fucking
I was surprised
idiot
from the dating site.
on the floor when
How
I've
many,
made it clear I don't like her.
attractive, like,
I know,
seem
you wanna
like
make it
decent
about this
people,
one incident.
girls are
I want to look at him as a
escorts.
person.
Damn, you're hitting like an
reoccurring
interesting.
No, it's because I'm 50.
You know how you go into alt TikTok? Like he's got into like alt Hinge.
No,
You
it's
found the-
Hinge. Hinge, that's supposed to be
What's
the cleanest
alt
site.
TikTok?
Oh, there's like the so like in my feed I'll get like hood TikTok. So like it'll be like a Pat, a Veronica video, and then like an alt TikTok video, like these either like super hood videos, like super niched, like yeah.
I think they go for me because of my age, and I'm a business owner. I don't know why, or I just see a pretty girl and I'm like, oh, cool, I'll give her
No,
a like.
I agree. I've dealt with the same stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and there's some scammers and blah blah blah.
I mean,
but-
here's the bottom line: is if the girl's really hot, she's probably trying to get money. It's just that simple.
Right.
That's been my experience with these apps.
Right, but like yours is like, do you have like a friend that's like DDA who's like super hot? Like my friend Todd, he's like 6'3", blonde, blue eye, USC. He fucks every girl on there. Like I literally just think like I'm not good looking enough, which is fine. Like I'm not self-pitying. It's just like that's what the app is. It's operating off of a pure shallow.
Yeah,
you
but,
better
like,
be hot.
Yeah,
And like, or it's not going to work for you.
Wait, let
and
me-
like, dude, have you seen these kids on TikTok that do Tinder runs and they make fake profiles like really hot dudes? You should see how many matches they get. It's unbelievable. It's a whole different app to them. And that's what Jordan Peterson says too, is like usually a small percentage of men get a large percentage of the women.
right.
Wait, let
I
me.
fuck
Can
with
I
that.
pick your brains a little bit on this? Because I've been like, I changed my profile. I'm like, what can I do to be more appealing? So, which app are you on?
I'm not on any of them.
Oh,
but I
you
was
have
talking about
been.
like Tinder and Bumble and like.
But you have been in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah.
Wait, why aren't you?
Because they don't work for me.
I just got off them and I was crushing
Which
it on there.
I honestly, this is, I might lose you here. Is like I think it's a race thing, because like
No, you didn't lose. You don't lose.
okay.
Me.
Statistically, like
I totally agree.
statistically, literally, it's like fact. Like you're
on like back page.
Hey, I was
Yeah,
asking questions.
I know.
Man.
I'm
gonna pee.
I'm gonna make sure we go back to you.
black escorts are cheaper than the white. Was that what you're just
Well,
saying?
no.
But that's also true, and that's real.
No, I was gonna say that there's a term for no blacks.
Right.
I never knew what these 3 letters meant, but most of the chicks have it, and it means like no blacks. Like they don't even want to
Right.
like deal with black dudes.
So for me, what worked in the dating apps was putting out like a fun, gusto for life attitude. And then they'd always hit me back with like, "Oh, I love your energy
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the overdoing it smile."
See,
like-
that's what Tim does.
Like I can't do that.
I can't do it
Right.
either. I can't be
Right.
that like fake.
Cornball.
guy.
But it's not even that because we'll have a good time.
No,
like we'll
you're-
do something dope.
Dude, I respect you for it.
Right.
You're like, oh, that's dope.
But
I'd
yeah.
probably be doing a lot better if I could do that.
No, but we're like kind of like sad boy, serious
Right.
artist types who just can't pretend to be happy. And if
Right.
we try to, it's just gonna come off like even worse.
Yeah, because I've sat through plenty of shitty conversations and shitty dates.
But
for
here's
at
the thing.
expense of-
Here's the thing, Wikum. Be you and do you, and you're gonna find someone dope.
Yeah, actually, I after Britney, like I stopped trying. I deleted all the apps, and I just learned how to be alone or whatever. And then this chick found me on TikTok, followed me on Instagram, and we've been texting. And she's like super rich. She's from Texas, and she's gonna fly here.
That's dope.
And like she's like, we're gonna fuck.
You sound like something he would say.
Like we were talking about like how I'm going to fuck her.
Have you FaceTimed her?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta face.
You gotta pre-qualify him.
Yeah,
You have to pre-qualify him. You know,
Yeah.
you just can't have him show up.
So Billy, what were you gonna say?
I'd really like to get a little information because this is something I've been doing and I'm into it because it's kind of fun. Actually, it's like entertaining, even if I don't get a date. But so it doesn't work for you because I'm finding like say you put out 100 likes, you get 4 responses. Out of those 4 responses, you're really not interested in any of them. Or for me. And I'm just wondering. So it's the hot dude that's got the money and the college that gets all the girls, and then it's us guys who maybe get a date if we're lucky or something. So yeah, I guess.
Well, here's the thing though. It's like, it's almost like sometimes I think about like the race thing and like all like only the hot dudes get it. But then I'm like, what the fuck did I think was gonna happen? Where it's an app where you look at someone's face and you judge if you like them or not,
Right.
just by like, what did I think was gonna happen? It is shallow. I think that's all it's ever been. Like we're the ones who tried to make it something else.
Well, yeah, that's just how it starts, you know.
I've talked to some girls about this.
We're it's not about shallow. Human beings are attracted to other human beings
Yeah,
by how they look.
and I've talked to some girls about
There's
it,
nothing
and they're
wrong with
like,
that.
sometimes
You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes I'll meet a dude even though they're not real attracted to him, because once you meet him in person, sometimes they're more attractive or you like their personality.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got his info. So what about you? You seem to have success on these apps.
So the energy is like you're selling yourself, right? So it's like click here, buy now kind of attitude. So like, why should I click here and buy now? Because if I hang out with Billy, I'm going to learn something, I'm going to do something fun, and I'm going to enjoy myself. So that's what you should be selling on these platforms. No one cares if you have kids. No one cares. They want to know how tall you are. So like in your bio, you want to start off with your height, because apparently to women, it's really important, like, that you're taller than them. So you start off with like 5'9", 6'2", and then your description. And that's got to be short. It can't be too winded because they're pretty much just looking at pictures of you having a good time to make their assumption. And then that not assertive, but like that assumed closed scenario, right? Like, when are we hanging out? Like, not are we hanging out kind of energy, but more like,
Yeah, that's kind of my problem is I don't really want to spend the time or effort unless they really motivate me. Like, wow, this person's special. But so say you send out 100 likes. What do you think your response is? 4 out of 100?
probably no, a little higher.
And then out of those, maybe somebody might actually be interested in, or
So like in my recent scenario, like we went and we grabbed the juice. So we went and grabbed like a pressed juice. And then from there, like we got along. So it led into a dinner that night. And then it just...
I guess here's the thing too: is I'm actually want a life partner. That's really what I want. So I write things like, I guess it's boring or weird to people. Like we talk about real shit, right? Like they don't really seem to want to hear that. It's like I'll take you on a trip, and like my area is exclusive. I get Beverly Hills, Malibu, Westlake. I see these girls and they're in their Mercedes with their big puffed up lips and shit. And I'm like, they're never gonna be interested in me. You know, I mean, most of them.
Right.
So it's just interesting. It's been educational.
Well, switch it up. Play with your bio a bit. Add on there like what your ideal date would look like, right? So for me, an ideal date is like catching a sunset in Malibu.
I don't even know how to put the fucking date on there. I'll go through it. Yeah. I caught a sunset in Malibu today. It was pretty nice.
Should I be like over here maybe, so you get like a dope background, maybe like a portrait joint?
Are you not dating your lady anymore? Or
No, I
yeah.
am. Works
like
exclusive.
portrait?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I was due.
Pretend like you're like. fucking
Look
it
at that
or something.
fade on this guy.
Yeah.
Bro, that thing looks
Well,
proper
that's
as fuck.
the lonely barber.
Yeah, that's like $100 haircut though.
Really?
Wait, isn't it?
I don't know.
There you go.
But like, he's gonna be coming by here.
Yeah, he needs to clean me up because that looks nice.
Yeah. But do you want to get that in the background, or are you doing portrait where it's
Yeah.
blurry and shit? Is
Yeah.
it dope?
What are you guys trying to do?
Like, is that like a cool photo?
Yeah.
Can I get a little personal with you for
Yeah.
a second? And you?
Yeah.
Are you dating anybody?
No.
Do you want to be? Of course.
Oh yeah.
Are you looking to date or do you just want to fuck?
No, I'm looking to date, but like not like looking, you know.
Actively, but
Yeah.
you would if you
Yeah,
could.
for sure.
And you? And you're in a
I'm
relationship.
happy. I'm good. I'm content.
But previous to that, it seems like you had some game. I'm just wondering if you made me think that or if you did.
No, I do.
And what is it? Is the way you talk? Like I
Um,
could see Tim just doing really well because he
Yeah.
talks right or something.
doesn't even fuck with the dating app.
I know,
Right.
but if he did, it's about that. Like maybe the way you come across.
So when you walk into a scenario, play Staying Alive in your head and it changes your strut. It does.
Right? Okay.
It does. And then that's the kind of energy that they feed off of, right? As opposed to playing like a Radiohead song in your head while you walk into a room.
Yeah.
Play
So
a fucking...
Radiohead song.
You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like for me, my life is still it's really kind of scattered. So I think maybe that's the thing. I just want to have my shit together. I don't want to bring a lady to my house with boxes and half painted house and shit.
Well, that's your choice. Unpack your boxes.
I haven't, but it's a fucking process. Yeah.
But I've realized that the more I focus on me, the better quality of person that comes into my life. So the less I'm out there trying to like seek it. Because
Yeah.
for me, it was like, it's a validation thing with women. So my mom like worked all night, went to school during the day for like the earliest part of my life. So I think that has something to do with like my need of validation from not even validation or I don't know what the word would be, but
I think it's validation. You're good. You're okay. If they open their legs to you, that's like the ultimate. You're good.
or just
You're
hold
good.
It's
me.
literally the
Just hold
ultimate
me.
validation. I heard someone say that on a podcast. Like the ultimate validations another human can give you is fucking you.
Boom.
Yeah.
Straight up. That is because that's so intimate,
Yeah.
right?
And it says you have value and you're worth something.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So keep trimming your pubes. It'll happen one day.
Yeah.
Because the moment you stop trimming them,
All right. Here's another thing. So you got COVID Conveniently when he went to Costa Rica.
Yeah, so I got COVID while you guys were in Costa. Really? So I lost my sense of smell on a Monday, and fucking set off alarms in my heart and my brain. Like I'm over here lighting I lit an incense stick. I couldn't smell it. I go to my boy Rob. Hey, can you smell it? He's like, get out of my face, bro. Of course I can smell it. So I lost my sense of smell. So then fear kicks in. Like I'm gonna fucking die. So I go get a rapid test done, and boom, you've got COVID. So now I gotta lock down, work from home. But I don't want to like. I didn't want like the poor me like. So I'm just gonna ride this shit out. If I die, I'm gonna die. But like every moment when I had COVID, it was like, I'm gonna get this fever everyone's getting, and it's just gonna put me on my ass. But it never came.
So you felt shitty or what?
Nah, it was more my mind that felt shitty. Like physically, I just couldn't smell.
That's it.
Right. But then like,
So crazy.
and then I tested positive, and so now I'm like, fuck. Any minute now, I'm gonna get down with this fever. I'm gonna get what everybody's getting. Los Robles hospital's full of people. They're like, don't even show up. So I'm fucked, but nothing happened. And then 4 days ago, I tested negative for the second time, which was dope.
Wow. So you didn't have low energy or nothing? Wow.
Dude, I saw this video on TikTok about this guy who tested his kids and him, and it was like he got a positive test, and then he like went somewhere else and got a negative test, and
Yeah, it's a hustle. They just want everyone
it's
vaccinated.
like I
is what it is.
definitely feel like, yeah, this shit is real, obviously, but like because people are dying and because it's real, nobody even wants to consider what else is happening. You know, no one even wants to talk about like how it's being overhyped, or there's probably a lot of positives that really aren't positives, and there's probably a lot of deaths that are because of other things that are being attributed to COVID, and just I don't really know. I'm just saying that like I just posted this fucking video. I'm like really proud of this post. Do you guys know this guy Tommy Vex?
No.
Oh my god, dude. This guy literally changed my life. We're gonna listen to this whole thing, okay? This fucking guy. Okay,
Oh,
so
is
this
that the wolf guy?
yeah, so this guy, his name's Tommy Vexed, and he's a singer of like this really, really big rock band called Bad Wolves. You don't know anything about this guy?
No.
Dude.
Express diversity of thought. We need to express diversity of thought, and it doesn't matter what side you're on. Nobody's voice should be silenced.
This is a dude named Tommy Vex, a singer of a really big rock band called Bad Wolves. He's also sober, and I've learned a lot. Actually, this dude changed my mind. I don't want to say changed my mind, but just helped me see things from a different perspective. I don't know, a few months ago when he did this video with these markers about, you know, what's really happening with the Black Lives Matter movement.
So right here, you have MSNBC, CNN, ABC. This one's going to be Fox. We're just going to put that guy on the side. It says highlighter, not Hitler. Calm down, everybody.
Oh, you have shown
And
this.
here you have Black Lives Matter. Who owns Black Lives Matter? Who invests in Black Lives Matter? Well, the Clinton Foundation. Who else?
That's not true.
George Soros.
That's not true.
This is Antifa. So now you have an event. Major news networks have to cover the event. An African-American man is killed by police. It doesn't matter that he's a felon. Doesn't matter that he put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach and did 5 years. It doesn't matter that he was in jail for cocaine. It doesn't matter that at the time of his arrest, he was on methamphetamine and fentanyl and was positive for COVID-19. Let's just throw all that out. That doesn't matter. Okay? Unjustly murdered by a police officer.
This dude basically has to like leave his band, and the media has tried to silence him and smear his name and just ruin his credibility because he spoke out about some things that he thought were fucked up. I'm afraid to speak out about things I think because I'm afraid of being judged. So I just want to say that I really commend and what he's doing, and that's punk rock. This motherfucker is out there like really doing the deal. Like the bands I looked up to when I was growing up, like Rage Against the Machine, NoFX, and even like Bob Marley and Bob Dylan, and even like Tool and Black Flag, and I mean punk
Gotta
rock
name 'em all.
is all about like questioning the status quo and questioning the narrative. And this motherfucker's like doing it. Fucking right on, dude.
Artists and musicians and painters and filmmakers and actors and all, and just people that we're just creative people. Like, we're not curing cancer. You know, and I've always maintained that, like, we're literally here to give everybody a distraction or make you feel something so you feel like you're alive again, because life is a fucking drag a lot of the time. People are tired of their culture being dictated to them by people who we can't even see. There are people pushing buttons and picking up phones and deciding for us what is allowed to be posted, what is allowed to be on TV, what is allowed to be on the streaming channels. And it's like, enough is enough. We need to express diversity of thought. And, you know, we've had this massive political divide in this country, and it doesn't matter what side you're on, nobody's voice should be silenced. Nobody should be told they can't express their opinion, and nobody should be told that they can't question a narrative, no matter what side it is. You know, everybody, you know, there are people who constantly scream for diversity, but they reject diversity of thought. Having civil discourse leads us to seeing each other's perspective differently, and then there's no more hate and animosity. And when we're fighting with each other, it's ego. We're not speaking to each other through the angels of our better nature, like Abraham Lincoln said. You know, it's very easy for people to be an asshole to a device and talk shit through a device. And it's not only because it feels safe for them to be shittier, it's because it requires no empathy. Your cell phone and your computer, they don't feel bad if you say hurtful things. But there are human beings on the other ends of these devices, and we need to really raise our spiritual, mental, and emotional vibration. And all this hate and shit, that what you're seeing with the media is these people they're people who can't accomplish anything with their lives, and they make money by destroying other people. And these people even criticize the artists that they love. You know what I mean? They'll criticize legacy bands, legacy underground bands, and if they write one bad song on the record, they're like, well, everything was good but this. And it's like, you wonder why you haven't accomplished anything with your life. Is because you constantly focus on negativity.
For real.
So like it's funny because right when this started, he was talking about the thing, and you're like, not true. Mm-hmm. Like, and I kind of had a emotional reaction to what you were saying, because I think, because my mind,
I agreed with everything else he said.
Yeah, no, but like, that's cool. Like, we need to stop having emotional reactions to things that we think are true. Mm-hmm. The truth really is that we don't know shit. Like, I don't know if he's right, and I hope you don't know if you're right.
Yeah, but then like,
well, but hold on, let me just finish before. But as he continued to talk, I realized, wow, like, right on. Like, you're disagreeing with something he's saying. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it without egos.
Yeah. Right.
Like, so.
Wait, he said that too.
No, that's what he was saying. Yeah. And I realized, whoa, I was having a response to what you were saying to me. Yeah. So, like, it's hard. It's really, really hard. But, like, I
believe that's going to be what saves the world, is sort of spiritual awakening in individuals.
As it relates to social media too, though.
Well, just the way we treat each other.
Everything. But I did another post, actually, and I'm like really proud of these posts, because I believe that these posts are like the core of like what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, I'm not going to play the whole thing for you, but I just want you to, this is like you, Billy. You know Josh Brolin is?
Motherfucking Thanos.
I woke up with this morning with a very strong feeling that social media is the death of us. It's like the worst in people have been revealed.
Josh, I love you, bro. You actually took a photo of me one time. Did you know that? Here, look. He asked me. Well, yeah, when we got the chair, remember? You said, hey.
So I go into explaining how, like, he's right, and like what Tommy was saying is that there's no empathy. There's just a lot of hate and anger, and I feel like that's probably what provoked him to want to do this, right? But it's almost like our job him more so than me, as influencers, to push the hate aside and be the example. right? And try to help everyone go in the right direction because this isn't going anywhere. Social media and the internet and humans communicating through phones, like it's only getting more and more normal. So like, don't abandon your post. This fool's talking about, I'm not going to post for 30 days. That was the whole point of that particular post. He's like,
30 days. That's it. That's hilarious. That's all he's saying. It's the death of humanity, and all he could do is 30 days.
Well,
what a fucking joke, dude.
You're so like,
but like, don't you see how stupid
just
that is?
calm down. You're not being.
I know, I'm not. I know, but like, that shit's so stupid.
He's just taking a 30-day break,
right?
Which is kind of a long time if you're him. He has a massive fall. A whole month. You try taking a month off.
I can't, but I'm not going to also say that like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity.
Right.
Like, shouldn't he be like, this is the worst thing that ever happened to humanity. I'm deleting it all forever, and that's what I'm going to do. Instead, he's like, this is really bad for you guys, so I'm not going to do it for 30 days. But then for the rest of my life, I'm going to do it.
Well, he's not saying that. He's just saying he's going to try to take 30 days and see how it feels. And that he's imploring you to do the same thing. And maybe something will be revealed. Like, you need to chill.
Yeah.
Like that. Like, I don't think he's saying like for 30 days, let's, instead of going to our phones, let's take a walk or let's read something. Or I think his message was kind of cool in a way. But I basically said back to him, like, you're right. There's good and bad in social media. And it's our job to expose the good and to be an example of the good and to try to, like that Tommy Vex dude, like he's doing the fucking deal. He's not taking a fucking break.
Right.
He's on some like, yo, like he did a whole fucking, so this fucking guy had to leave his band because his band, he doesn't want his like voice to like fucking hurt the people that are in his band. It's getting so crazy for him right now that he had to just, and he did a GoFundMe, raised $100,000 in 3 days. So now he has his own solo album coming out and he's like fighting back and he's like being more honest and posting more and like doing more and like being the artist that he really is.
Isn't he supposed to come on this podcast?
Yeah.
When?
He's
that guy?
Tommy Vex will be on this podcast.
Whoa.
That will be my homie. Danielle knows him. He's in recovery. He
trip.
will see this video.
Yeah.
And I will manifest him being a part of this community. But yeah, he's dope, right?
Yeah.
It's just fucked up though that like could you imagine, like he's not fucking Adam Levine, you know what I'm saying? Right. But he's like you should watch that video that he did. I'm taking pieces of these other people's he explains how Bad Wolves like broke a bunch of records and they're an arena band. This fucking guy's huge, like, but that still doesn't mean he's like got a lot of money. Like he owes the label a bunch of money, and like you can be a really big band and still be broke. Like 30 Seconds to Mars did an amazing documentary on how the fucking record industry is just, it's impossible to like get rich.
And, is that like a punk band? Have you noticed
his band or 30
his band?
Seconds? They're like an arena rock band. They're a bunch of hardcore guys that got together and started doing a rock.
Like what I've noticed is like punk now is to be conservative because that's the counterculture now. Because the left is the mainstream.
Crazy, right?
And like I know surfers in like where I live in Hermosa Beach, like surfer fucking, you know, and they're all conservative Trump supporters. You'd think a surfer would vote for fucking Bernie Sanders.
But wait, let me ask you this: why are you saying that? Like you think that what do you think he's basing his information on?
I think that like he's doing the same thing that like people were doing in the 60s.
No. I'm asking you about the Black Lives Matter movement being taken over by
like the whole George Soros, Bill Clinton thing, like that. The reason that like that bothers me is because like Black Lives Matter, I remember being in 2015 on Facebook and watching it start, and it was two black women, and they made it so neither of them were leaders, so that nobody could character assassinate a leader and destroy the movement, and like so then people assigned them a leader and then destroyed the like It's insane.
No. But what he's saying is that it didn't start. Clinton didn't start it. They fucking took it over. And you have YouTube videos. Steve sent me a YouTube video of one of the dudes who started it explaining how it's been taken over. You spend enough money online and you can make videos go viral. Right. You can push whatever narrative you want. And that's what he's saying happened. And I've seen other videos that support that. Like, it got away from these people. And then they started plugging Antifa and just and sort of what he said it so well. He said these media companies are exploiting something that's real, the pain of African Americans, and they're turning it in. They're making it look like they're violent when they're not. They're planting violent protesters to make it look like they're unruly, and I just wonder if what you're saying.
Well, here's like the other thing I'm tripping on is like it kind of like goes off to what you're saying. Is this has been bothering me for a long time, but I didn't know how to put it into words. Like me and one of my friends, he's like a Trump supporter. We're like boys, so it doesn't matter. And like me and him were arguing about, has Donald Trump been impeached? And like he has been, right? But people think you have to leave office, but like you don't. But this is like a fact. Like it's in government documents, right? And I'm like telling this guy, I'm like, dude, this is real. Like this is in, and he doesn't believe me. And what's crazy is I told him to Google it and he got different results and he got a different answer saying the opposite extreme thing. And I was like, so what the fuck is real anymore, dude? Yeah, that's like not okay. There's like no point of talking about anything anymore if all our perspectives are that diverse. That's why people are so fucking toxic.
Diverse, and we don't. So we think we know. Some of us think we know the truth, but like I talk to some people who read every day and really keep up with things, and they have been their whole lives. And oh my God, nah, we're gonna get into this shit.
No, but we don't need to get into it. The truth is that if you're really smart, you can admit that you don't know the truth.
Yeah. And then it's okay to say you don't know the truth.
If you're really smart and you actually read every day and keep up with shit, and you watch the stock market and you research, who's the new president? What's his name?
Biden.
He's like the head of a criminal crime family.
Yeah.
He's a criminal. Yes, he is.
But nobody's really.
Where'd you hear that?
I didn't read it. My stepdad has been reading it and knows who he is for decades.
Yeah, but no, I've heard some shit like that too.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what's real.
His son definitely is. But
it doesn't. You could be right. I could be right. It could literally be 50-50 in every topic we debate about, and none of us will ever know.
Yeah, but first of all, we need to stop using terms like "you could be right," "I could be right." It's not about me or you.
It's about the truth.
It's just about having a conversation.
If we could know, then we could make a decision.
I feel like we have to like think. You like all of us have to, as a society, come together and decide like this is the standard of truth. Like we did that. The same thing. The same thing that happened with like newspapers. Like it was misinformation newspapers, and then they like everyone got together and be like, New York Times, LA Times, of course they have bias, but they're never going to say that like someone's a fucking lizard. You know what I mean? There's like at least a semblance like, but now nobody agrees on anything. Like we all have to agree on something to believe in.
That's the
and
thing.
we can't all just be okay with not knowing anything, because then what?
But it's subjective. It's like the dress, right? There was a dress that went around that was like one color or another color. Like if I tell you something, the way it's interpreted.
Absolutely. Like a lot of politics is subjective, but then a lot of it isn't. And that's when not knowing shit becomes a problem. Is like, sure, like I don't know shit and like, yeah, whatever perspective. But like, okay, I know this is an extreme example, but like if the Holocaust is happening right now, like,
which had just happened in Armenia.
Like, would I feel okay with being like, I don't know what's really going on? Or like, would I feel like I haven't like to be in order to like be a good person, I have to support this to like help people. Like a line is being crossed here.
Okay, let me speak for a second. I don't think that's an extreme example, because every country besides the United States is some sort of socialist or communist country. And it has been throughout history. We're just an experiment that's failing. And why couldn't we become communist? That's all of history. And do you know what it's like to live in a communist country? The government and the elites have everything, and everyone else is starving, and you can't own anything. You can't start a business. You can't own your vehicle. You can't own property. And that is my concern, that we're going in that direction. And especially with these privately owned social media companies, because everyone's communicating through that. So they're calling the shots. And it just gets so complicated. But I think the divide is to the advantage of the elites and the government to have control, because nobody's jiving.
Yeah.
Right?
Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's
we're
tech
so
giants
divided
that
we
have the
don't even know what
control.
the fucking truth is.
So what? You've been gone. Trump got kicked out of every social media platform, and people stormed his office.
Hold on a second, dude.
I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm definitely not a far left supporter either.
Yeah, neither am I, and I don't really care, because that's not what I don't think any of that is important. But and I think that the truth is humans and how we communicate, and not being divided and not attaching our egos to certain ideas of left or right. The fact that you were able to get into such a heated conversation about something that just doesn't fucking matter at all.
I mean, I think the biggest genocide in human history fucking matters. And that's what's crazy, is because
Hold on.
we have to have a line. We can't not be, because we're not monks, dude. I get it. We can't strive to be these perfect spiritual goals. Then we have to live, we have to be a monk on a mountain in Thailand. We live in America.
That's not true.
The real world.
That's not true at all.
You have to if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything.
Right. Okay, can you calm down, please?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, what were you and your friend arguing about? Whether Donald Trump was impeached or not? And you're trying to tell me that matters?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it shows that all the shit he did as president matters. There's consequences for your actions. And if you're impeached, he can legally never hold public office again for the rest of his life.
But whether or not you were right or your friend was right in that moment doesn't matter.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But you guys were so heated about it.
Yeah.
Because your egos were attached to whatever ideas you thought you had.
Right.
Okay,
but here's
hold on, let me finish. It's not about being a monk on a mountain. It's about not attaching your ego to those ideas. And that's very difficult for you to do, and me, all of us.
All of us. I do agree, that you don't have to be a monk on a mountain to live a spiritual life.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But just the fact that you're saying
Great
that
aspiration.
is not productive, because it does come down to each individual.
Okay, so let's go back. I know this is extreme, but let's go back to the Holocaust thing. What would you do?
It would be really tough not being there, because if you don't support the party, you're extricated as well.
Well, also we learn history should teach us the most.
No, I'm saying if Holocaust happening right now.
Well, no,
Wasn't there just a genocide in Armenia?
But who would they kill in America? I mean, everyone's so mixed up.
Don't you think there are certain things where you can't and I know this is your whole thing, and I respect it, because yes, we have to be bipartisan and we have to see both sides, but you can't live there forever. That's insane. You're not. This is not realistic. I can't be in the middle if Jews are getting murdered, by them. Then I'm not a good person. And evil happens when good men do nothing.
But
don't we have a responsibility to when shit is going bad to help someone, or we can't be in the middle when people are being murdered.
That's
why
that. We have to.
How do we do that?
We're in a society where they pull out their phones. Something bad is happening to somebody, and people will be quick to pull out their phones before they are to help.
Right.
Fights and everything.
And the weird thing is, the more people there is, the less help that person in need gets.
Ain't that a trip?
Yeah. It's weird. But I agree with you. That's why I think we need to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a Trumper or a lefty or a whatever you are, we got to be able to communicate.
Well, yeah, I think the TikTok generation, compare Facebook political discourse to Instagram political discourse to TikTok, they're like 3 different things. Facebook is just like toxic. Everybody's fucking pissed all the time. Misinformation's everywhere. And then Instagram, there's not really, I don't know, at least for me, you see pictures of politics you follow. But the TikTok kids, they're not like the Facebook people, which are like the older people. They're like, they like fight for sure, and they're like attached. Their egos are attached to ideas, but they're not as angry and they're not as like irrational as like the older people.
Here's like you're talking about the Holocaust. As soon as you start talking about the Holocaust, nobody, the conversation's ended.
Why?
Because that was so fucked up and so wrong. And it's so obviously wrong that it's almost like it's like when you talk about like the underage girl, like as soon as you start bringing up certain things, it's like a dead end.
Right, but here's
like
the thing.
In the name, like COVID. Like COVID's a perfect example. People are dying. How dare you question? So they're
Or Black Lives Matter.
Can't even talk about it. And Black Lives Matter.
But you said an interesting phrase. You said obviously. What did you say? Obviously, like the Holocaust. Obviously,
people were dying.
Right. It was obviously horrible. Right.
Up.
But at the time, they were funneling out propaganda, and people didn't know it was the same thing that's happening now. It's a bunch of misinformation.
And until the people knew. There was no way for them to know.
Well, also no, because the government had
people
the
did
power.
know.
The government had the power. So if you even were a German who didn't agree with the party,
stop banging because it's making noise.
If you didn't agree with the party, you were fucked. So you had to go along with it because you have kids and you care about your kids.
What if you're like American?
People were getting blackballed here.
Like what if like you're not like the Nazi party isn't in your country, and then you can believe whatever you want.
Oh well, then I guess you have a choice. Yeah.
Remember people in the film industry were being blackballed based on their
because they're like
views?
Everybody has to be liberal. You can't not go.
But
against
like,
the grain and then
I'm just trying to say that like we are where we are. Like, what are you proposing?
I'm proposing what that guy said. Let's fucking just talk and put our egos aside.
And that's what I'm saying too. But what are you saying?
I'm proposing we need to like figure out. We have like a big problem to solve right now, and it's the internet. And like when nobody knows, it's running amok. It's literally ruining the country right now. Have you watched The Great Hack? How they like change people's Facebook feeds to make them vote
I gotta
for
watch that.
Like these are people that went on Facebook, brainwashed people into voting for Trump, and then went on Netflix and told us about it. And people still don't care. Like when are we gonna care?
What are you talking about? What do you mean people don't care?
People don't like give a fuck.
I think they care, but we don't know what to do. Whether we feel powerless.
Yeah, they do give a fuck. Everyone gives a fuck.
They see that and they still fall for that shit. Is what I'm saying.
Millions of people saw that documentary and care. Millions.
But like I'm saying, like, how do we get everybody to like
we're trying
know
to
that
we're trying
and like see and like
Trump
be
lost
able
the
to
election.
Like, we're trying to figure it out.
Well, I know. I don't understand what you're doing.
I'm just like
either.
trying to deflate your anger. Who are you angry at?
Well, I'm not angry. I'm like really frustrated
Because this is what
and
I'm
it
trying
like
to do.
stresses me out.
But like that energy is the problem. Because as
Yeah,
soon
but
as you
like-
start bringing that energy to a conversation, it makes it all about ego. And I'm guilty of this too, trust me. And it makes it really difficult to communicate with
What do
people.
we do, Wikum? What do we? I want to do something. What do I
Yeah.
do?
What's the solution,
I don't know.
Wikum?
I think you guys like what you guys are saying about spiritual awakening is like for sure like that we need that too. But I also think like there has to be some sort of like the internet has to be like regulated, like which is like the worst thing you could ever say.
But it's
Or it
also
has to be.
it's also
What about-
super,
Why are things regulated?
it's also
Nah.
contradicting what you're talking about with the hack thing.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing was they were like regulating
And
it.
that's
like,
giving the government more
they
power.
weren't regulating it. They were intentionally. They know something is a lie, and then they were telling someone that was the truth. It's different.
I also right, I get what you're saying, but that's still a form of regulation.
And regulation gives government more power.
But if
As
you're,
China.
well, yeah, I mean, the government is gonna have to regulate. That's just gonna happen, and like the government, yeah, like we don't want regulation, but like without regulation, we wouldn't have like roads and freeways. And I don't like the government either, but like we also need the government.
I just don't want them to. My fear is communism,
Right.
and it's probably going to happen anyway. China's probably going to take us down, in the next 20 years.
I just
anyway.
love
You
capitalism
guys know
so
the
much.
founder of Alibaba went missing in China?
Yeah.
Jack Ma. He's like the richest guy in the world, and he's been missing for like a month.
The one thing that I've just noticed throughout my life, and you can even compare this to the Holocaust, I'm sure, is like people fight more over these things than anything else. Like we just end up fighting over shit because we don't know the truth. So people just end up fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think they know the truth, though. Far lefties think they're right, and far righties think they're right.
And that's the problem.
But there's actually a small amount.
But like, I don't think that we've ever known, or there ever was a way to know. Even though you're saying we had the news networks and it was a little bit easier, it wasn't. Like I remember when I used to like be super anti-Bush, and I was like super into like
all the politics have been pulling shit. They're like the biggest criminals of all. They just have power.
And I don't know. It's just like
Wait, what? Like what about Bush?
I just remember when I was like your age, I was like just as passionate, if not more, about like,
Right.
politics, and like I had the anti-Bush shit, upside down American flag, and like I was like fuck all the, and like just like fighting with, like I got into fights with people that were in the army. I went to college, my friends' college campuses, and I would go up to like Marines and be like, why are you in the fucking war? Like you don't even know what you're doing. Like you're out there. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, and like it just ends up causing like humans to like fight with each other because they don't know. We don't really know what's going. There's always going to be powers above us and people trying to control shit, and it's like I don't know. I don't know what. There's really no. We all we can do is try to be civil with other human beings and like allow people to like talk and have opinions and not get emotionally attached to ideas that we don't know anything about. Like there's never been a way, and that's why I like Joe Rogan, because he doesn't really, I feel like he's not ever like getting that hot about any issue.
You guys got me all bummed out, man.
We just don't know.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's okay.
We're all in agreement here.
I'm not saying that's okay.
We're all agreeing though.
Yeah, no, we are. But you're like, real hot about like some sort of solution to like having a way to find the truth. And I don't know if that's going to be possible.
No, I that's not what I'm hot about. Is not the solution. I actually was just asking what you guys think should be the solution, but which is what the spiritual awakening, right?
Well, just like looking inwardly, and like if we can be an example of how humans should communicate, like for example, like this guy who was angry at me, he came up to me and talked shit, and they threatened to like whatever with me. Yeah. And
what do you mean whatever? How hostile?
They're like,
he can't go to Third Street Promenade anymore.
What's that mean?
Because one of the guys at the table is like some gangster who's gonna like
Third Street Promenade.
Now I'm in trouble, right? Oh. And I feel like there's like this primal part of me that's like wants to be like fuck you, whatever. And then there's this spiritual part of me that's like, okay, I can go online and be like, yo, I didn't mean to like upset you, and if I did, I'm sorry. This is that simple. If we can,
would you though?
What
would you do that?
We have to.
I did that. No, I did it. I made the video after I did step work. I'm like, that's what awesome. Am I doing?
Right.
I want to bring love into this. Yep. All we can do is our part, and I get what you're saying. Like we can't just be like spiritual monks on a mountain, but like low key, like we actually kind of can in our own way, and that's that's all we can really do.
Low key, I think I've chosen that path. Like, I can't remember the last time I was angry, which is.
But I think we
Fucking
should also
nuts.
like talk about shit. Like
Right.
that's why I like what Tommy's doing, and I love his energy when he talks about it.
You know what I think also it is? It's like connection and communication, but it's also like trust. Like you trust that guy. Like you have to believe what he says. Like,
Well, I don't
if I could have easily been like, oh, he said 2 wrong things about Black Lives Matter. Everything he says is a lie. I could have easily done that, but I know that someone can be wrong about 2 things. I like trusted him because I could like tell he was like honest, and I like fucked with him because he's like being real.
Yeah.
And like you could like I feel like maybe that's how we can like is like we like the social. Like Nietzsche talks about, like there's this concept called the social contract, which is like imagine all of us are like cavemen in like the jungle, and we're all just fucking killing each other, stealing each other's wives, eating each other's food. It's just the most ravageous, right? Like our primal nature. We can't have a civilized society until like those two humans come together and make a social contract. Like, all right, like I'm not gonna kill you, I'm not gonna steal your shit. I'm not. You have to trust me. I'm gonna trust you. And now we're gonna have better lives because we're not looking over our shoulders our whole life. So I'm thinking like I actually have a few conservative beliefs that like get me fucked with liberal people. And it's funny because like when I talk with conservative people, I end up defending the liberal shit. When I went with the conservative people, it's like the opposite. And like we have to trust because I don't know about you guys, but like I would lose my fucking mind if I can't know what's happening. I can't do that. Like I need, like, what the fuck is happening?
Like I think that
and like I'm choosing to
Should
trust.
I read this page I read today? It kind of
I think
crazy.
you're like caught up. Like we need to eradicate those words from our vocabulary.
What?
Conservative people.
Right.
It's just like
Either this or that.
we're like they've created this like system, and we're like we got sucked into it. Like you're sucked into it. Like there's no such thing.
You're totally missing what I said though. Because like I agree. I'm like with you. It shouldn't be conservative and liberal. If you break down conservative and liberal policies, they don't make any sense. There's no central belief that drives any of them. They're literally a group of ideas.
Yeah.
So people only like that group of ideas because they want to identify with that. So I'm with you. But what I'm saying is like
But then I think we need to stop using those kinds of. We need to stop talking that way.
Yeah, for sure. But
You know what I mean?
But like the biggest question is like, for me, like I have to trust somebody, and like I'm sorry, but I'm gonna trust Anderson Cooper.
Yeah,
I have to.
No,
I have to
I don't
trust
even
someone.
know who that is.
Right.
He's
That's
just
cool.
a CNN anchor, and like
I get my news from a comedy channel.
You should trust him, but not like he could be wrong about some stuff too.
for sure.
And when you
And
say
that's
trust,
okay.
it keeps bugging me because you don't mean complete trust. You just mean that
No.
you can trust what he's saying, or you can trust this person for
Yeah.
that, but not like complete trust.
What did you want to read?
What I read in the Sermon on the Mount today
What?
kind of messed with my head.
Read it.
Okay.
Can't tease us about it and not read it.
Well, it may not have the same effect on you, but
I mean, the answers really are all here in this book.
swear not at all. It is one of the cardinal points in the teaching of Jesus. It means briefly that you are not to. So they talk about like in the Bible, don't swear. And I think people think, oh, that's cuss words, but that's not what they're talking about. So it means briefly that you are not to take vows. You are not to mortgage your future conduct in advance, to undertake to do or to refrain from doing something tomorrow or next year or 30 years hence. You are not in any way to seek to fix your conduct or your belief for tomorrow while it is yet today. For sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. It is an absolute vital part of his teaching that you are constantly to seek direct inspirational contact with God, constantly to keep yourself an open channel for the pouring out of the Holy Spirit into manifestation through you. Now, if this is a little long, are you still want to hear it?
Well, I mean, I don't understand. Can you like break it? Can you like translate what they're saying?
Like, I'll say I used to did this for years when I was trying to get sober. I'm going to get sober tomorrow. I'm going to finish this bag before midnight. I'm going to get sober tomorrow. Yet it's today. And I'm going to start doing push-ups and exercise and read and all the shit I want to do tomorrow or next week after my vacation. But what he's saying is basically it's now, like Eckhart Tolle. It's right now. Only shit's going to happen now. And that you need to be connected to God right now to have the strength to be a loving human being now and to manifest God now through you, which we were talking about. And that's going to be the solution to our problem. Because just to say if 90% of the population decided to be loving and kind, it would change the world. Or even just the majority.
Right.
But it's like not an easy thing because you got to put your ego and your opinions and your beliefs and all that shit to the side.
Also, like all the things that we're talking about and trying to figure out, and like all that shit would just like start to go away.
It would, because the most important thing would be, I really love what you said in 2 of the podcasts. You said, I try to bring value. That really stuck with me because that's service, and that's the way to live.
It's so counterintuitive,
and it helps you and it helps them.
It's so counterintuitive because like it's like, how can you just not do anything and just be the best person you can be and expect the world to change?
It doesn't work like that.
But it like does though.
Okay.
Because the only thing we can control is ourselves.
Right.
And the only time we can control it is today.
Right.
And it's like, it's so, and the only thing we can be is an example.
That's
to
it.
Others. And I'm like far from that perfect example, but I'm working on it. Jordan Peterson is like ill with it.
My boy told me that's
ill.
the only expectation the universe has of me is for me to be the best example. Like,
but like, so what do we do when there's a Holocaust happening? We're gonna get,
well, right here it says you don't plan for that shit. You're here today.
Yeah, and today.
And what if a Holocaust doesn't happen? Holocaust.
And today, like, we don't know. And I don't think we've ever known.
So what do we do?
Just be the best person we can be.
Loving.
So like, how do you know it's real though?
What?
Like, I agree with you. Like like for sure, like you have to be who you have to be. But like, how do I know like what's real? And like, I know this table is real. Like I know that.
We don't
like.
Get to
how
know.
can I know?
We don't get to know. We
faith.
Have to,
it's called faith, right? That's how.
Yeah, we have to choose.
No, but he's talking about like how to. I do think that the truth will be revealed. Like,
right.
I think that we kind of know, like we definitely know now what Hitler was.
That's the fucking answer.
Yeah. But right now, and that's why I was trying to say earlier about like history, learning from our history. So like when I like close my eyes and I look inside, like, and I listen and I heard what he was saying about the Black Lives Matter movement and about how, and I'm probably going to lose you here, but this dude's, you know, he's half black, right? And he's toured like 50 different countries. And he said, he's like, I've done it all and I have not experienced racism. He said that. And he's like, look in your own heart. Like, do you think you're racist? Like, do you really know people who are racist? And I was like, wow, like, yeah, for sure racism exists. Like, for sure, I agree. However, I kind of, and there's also like institutionally, like the way we've been doing shit as far as Hollywood, like there's like systems put in place to like serve the white, and like there's minorities that aren't being considered, and this is the way it's been for so long. But like right now, like I don't actually know anyone who's really racist.
Well, here's what it comes down to.
But hold on. But what I was saying was that when I was listening to, whenever I think about, I just kind of like block everything. I'm like, something feels like kind of like off about all this. Like something feels weird right now. That's just what my insides are telling me about like COVID and Black Lives Matter and like, and I feel like there's always been like who stands to gain. Like, yeah, I think that there probably is people in power.
No, they don't stand to gain. They just take the opportunity and they use it, whatever it is.
And it's to make money.
I think that there is a they.
Right.
And it's not Trump. It's not Biden.
It's beyond them.
It's beyond
Like
them.
the Koch brothers and shit.
I don't know, dude, but that's what I feel. And I feel like they have all the money, power, and influence, right? And they got the social media networks in their pocket for whatever reason. I don't really know how it works. I just feel like in my heart, all this like shit that we're arguing about, we don't know. They just want us arguing about it.
It's a
so they can just
distraction.
do what the fuck they're trying to do over here. And like, you know, they didn't want Trump in office.
That's it.
They wanted some other fool. I feel like
That
that's,
played the game. He played the game.
Okay, but here's the thing though, is like I think Trump was actually elected like by the American people because, or not, sorry, be elected by the establishment because Hillary Clinton got more votes, popular votes. The Electoral College, the people who have the real power, all voted for Trump.
I think
so. He could also like. I'm just saying there could also be the possibility that he's on the flip side of that.
But you know how that works, right? The Electoral College, how like certain number of votes come in per district.
It's the worst.
Right,
But see,
right.
but see now we're talking about like specifics again.
Can I talk on racism for a second?
But the point I'm trying to make is that yes, you're right. Everything that happens is meant to happen, and they make sure it happens. So arguing about whether the you know maybe he was, and then he switched it up and was like, nah, I'm not gonna play this game anymore. Right. Or maybe like JFK changed my life.
How so?
When I saw Oliver Stone's JFK, my entire perception and my life was changed. Because Oliver Stone was basically pointing out that like they're not gonna let someone do some shit they don't want done.
Right.
And that fool was trying to get us out of Vietnam. And they're like, nah, this fool's not, he's done. And it was like unanimous across the board. Like 80% of American people like loved, 90 probably, even more, I don't know.
Right.
But he was like the
golden
everybody
child.
loved him. And he was trying to, and they're like, oh shit, like he's trying to do some shit we don't want done. And they just killed him. And that movie like shows you all these different parts. I forget exactly. I don't really know. At the time I was like pretty hyped on it, but it was like, there's just so much going on behind the scenes that we'll never fucking know about. I mean, that's the cool thing about JFK is like he did all the research years later and exposed it all through like rigorous like research. But like there was no way to know that shit at the time it was happening. And this was fucking 60 years ago. So nothing's changed. Right. We just have more noise on social media and like more like things to like argue about and talk about. And I think also we could almost be closer to figuring out the truth because of social media, maybe. And that's kind of scares them. So they're throwing more crazy shit out there. I don't know. I just don't know. I just look in my heart and I just feel like, yeah, of course there's probably people that are manipulating.
And then people that come out to tell the truth. You seen Snowden yet?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's Oliver Stone too.
You get persecuted if you come out and talk too much. Like the system will penalize you and lock you away.
Yeah. Who are those people?
Right.
Who are they?
Well, you know, I was watching this
There's
documentary.
no way they're ever going to
Who watches The Watchmen?
I was watching this documentary. Nothing to do with this, but on aliens.
Yeah.
And so they were talking about the government agencies. There's this one dude that's obsessed with it, this doctor, and so he's done all this research for decades. And he's like, the president doesn't know because he doesn't need to know. There's government agencies above the president, or it's like a need to know its basis, and they keep it separate. And there is secret government agencies that the government doesn't even know about.
Dude, it's just
When do the alien files come out, Wikum?
Like actually the CIA
Aren't they coming out
no,
soon?
they publicly, did you know that?
It was part of the COVID thing.
Yeah, it's gnarly. I
In the
can't believe
COVID plan, they
Did you know about
wrote
that?
in there.
well, thanks to Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
like the only one that's like, yo, this is
Put that in there.
what the fuck is going on?
wait, so is there aliens? Like,
You
what
know
does
what?
it say?
I'm surprised that he hasn't been like silenced because he's not.
Well, he
going
got moved
that.
to Spotify and he lost listeners. So
Wow. But wait, what were you gonna say about
they
racism?
Said there's confirmed spacecraft, but they didn't say aliens.
Right.
Wait, what were you gonna? You had something you wanted to say?
I don't know if I should talk about it, but okay, here we go. So here's the thing. Of course, I'm a white dude. I have green eyes. My fucking dad's German. Okay, so, and I was born in America, like third generation Santa Monica, and so. What I was going to say is I don't believe most people are racist. I believe that most people do not hate another race. And this is off of I grew up in the system, right? This is off of my experiences. Oh, fuck. I didn't like black people, all right? Because I've been jumped. I got beat up in the boys' home. I was fucked with by black people, right? I did not like them before that. They fucked with me because I'm a white boy.
Some of them,
Which
should
but
not.
here's the thing. I had black friends too. But after being jumped and having my head stomped in the ground till I was convulsing for no particular reason by big black dudes, I'm going to have a bias. I'm going to be like, okay, I got to watch out for black dudes, okay? Wherever I'm going. Not that I hate black people, but there is a bias, right? And no, I don't hate black people, and I'm down to have a black friend if he's cool. So that doesn't make me a racist, but I'm not going to go hanging out in South Central and like get fucked with, because I will get fucked with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
no, you wouldn't. You're a nice guy.
No, you would. Well, it depends what street you walk down, right?
It sucks, dude. That there are people out there that are fucking racist.
As a minority in LA, I've never experienced racism, which is nuts. Like I've never. Maybe
I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's the way you come across. If you come across a thug with an attitude, you're going to experience racism. If you come out of a human being, then you're not.
Let me say this. If I was black, this is going to sound really weird, but if I was black, I would think that everyone was racist.
right.
Because I've always had a hard time. It's because of how I act and how I look. That's why I get a hard time. And I feel like the same thing is true for someone like Nate.
What?
He's just like got a chip on his shoulder.
That's
You
what
know,
it is.
and he wonders why he's getting fucked with all the time.
Because you're
And then
angry.
you have
Wait,
someone
like,
like,
what-
and then you have someone like Paul, who's like says the same thing you say. He's like, nah, fool. Like I manifest my own destiny.
right.
Is racism real? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There are people who are fucking racist. For
But
sure.
I think most of those people grew up learning that,
yeah. There's
and
just so
they
much
haven't
going
had the
on.
exposure to like realize no, everyone's a fucking person and they're an individual and they might be a fucker. or
But
they might
it's
be
too
cool.
bad that those dudes did some shit to you, and it affected your opinion on like a whole race. That's fucked up. But and we have to try to change. I think we're getting closer as a species to like not doing that anymore.
Well,
you know?
it's much more complicated than that too. Like in the boys' home and shit, I was more likely to get jacked by a black dude. I don't know if it's because I was white, probably. Like when I had an accident and I got really fucked up and knocked all my teeth out and shit, the black dudes in the boys' home went in and robbed my room. Nobody else, just the black dudes. Why is that?
Because there was probably more black dudes at the boys' home
In LA.
and in LA. It wasn't because they were black. Those were just.
No,
they
it
were just
isn't. There's something. They're like, you're a fucking white boy. We're going to take your
Right.
shit.
Yeah, I experienced that too in Georgia. They just didn't
So
like me
it's
'cause I was
racism on the
white.
other end. I don't
For
know. When
sure.
you're institutionalized, you can see that stuff a little different.
But that's how it is in institutions, right? Like in the prison culture and that whole culture, it's like race divided, no?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. What was your question? Or did you have a question?
No,
I just wanted to speak
I was
on
just
that.
wondering if
it's
you were
like
thinking
there's cool
anything.
people in every race, and then
No, I
but
agree. I think racism is real, and racism is real.
Right.
Is that what you guys are saying?
Well, I think
no,
Billy's
I'm saying that most people don't actually hate the other race.
I think what Billy's saying is the opposite of that.
is racism doesn't exist that much because people don't actually hate. Do you hate white people?
No.
See,
I'm scared of white people.
What Billy's
I am
saying,
scared of
what,
white
what
people.
Billy's saying is that people don't like other people because they don't like the people.
yeah.
It's not because of the color of their skin.
And so maybe a whole race has a certain attitude towards another race, and that's going to be likely to have a chip on your shoulder. But I don't think it's like I hate that group.
because of the color of their skin.
Yeah, it's not. That's not why. It's because the way I get treated by that group.
If like the guys who jumped you were white, would you be mad at all white people for the rest of your life?
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at black people anymore. I mean, they hurt me for no reason.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I
But-
almost feel like did God like give us different skin colors so that we could like figure all this shit out and like be better for it eventually?
The Bible says the opposite. Like the story of Babylon is like humans got so smart because like there was no language barriers or culture barriers that we like literally built a staircase to heaven, and God was like, you can't do that. So he like created language and culture to like divide us, and Pangea broke apart because we were like too powerful when we all understood each other.
Yeah, but
So confuse them with ignorance.
well, no, confuse, just change, make everyone different so
Right.
that we like reject each other when we're really not different. We just look like our color is a little. It's so crazy to me. It's so insane to me to imagine like the ignorance of somebody to think that a color has something that is going to affect someone's brain.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
weird.
weird.
Dude. It's like really weird when like someone like calls you the N-word, dude. Like that shit was like weird because like I like felt I'm not even black, first of all, but like second of all, like I felt it was just, it wasn't like my feelings were hurt. It was like I felt like I was like less than human. It was like really fucked up. Like I almost wish it hurt my feelings instead.
Wait,
but
you guys
instead
don't have
I
the
just
N-word
felt like
class?
subhuman or something. Like I'm like devolved. Like it was really fucked up.
As
It was disgusting.
Yeah. Also, though, I think that we are able to. We give everything all the meaning that there is, and we give things power. So I think that we also can. It could be really hard, but I think that we can try to not give that, like, oh, whatever. I know my worth. Like, I don't care. Like, you don't need to give that so much power. Does that make sense?
I don't know how much control I have over it, how much power I give it. Because, dude, that night, it was New Year's Eve. I was surprising Jessie because we were suspended apart. And I had flowers. And I was going to surprise her a job. And that's when someone called me the N-word. I wasn't, like, prepared or, like,
Right.
I didn't know what to do. There wasn't a moment where I had a choice to be like, is this going to affect me or not? It was just, like, happened. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And I just, like, felt all these things.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Nothing. I'm just telling you guys on the podcast.
but
I didn't fight the dude or like
but
get
if-
mad about it like forever. Like,
But you felt really fucked up.
yeah,
So now that you're prepared and now that you know a little bit more about yourself, maybe it doesn't have to impact you the way it did.
yeah. The first time, yeah, for sure. is
And
rough.
that's where we're able to like not give things power. Like I give so many things power. a negative comment. I mean, the same
Right.
thing goes with that negative comment on TikTok.
You know what?
It's like if you know your worth, that comment doesn't need to
Now
matter.
I'm
be
thinking
so-
about
so
it.
hard.
I was
though.
so
like, here's-
angry when I used to let shit like that bother me. Like people used to be like, "You have a chip on your shoulder, Greg,"
But
and
it's
it was
not
just like
even
a
that-
fuse for me.
But you're not. It's not even that you're letting it bother you.
Right.
It's like it's bothering you because you don't have the. Like it bothered him because he didn't have the calloused.
right.
He didn't have the the self love and the self understanding to not let it bother him. And then now he does. Now he's closer to that. So it's almost like things have to bother us.
Sorry.
We have to experience all that pain and shit so that we
Right.
can have that defense.
And empathy when we see that happening, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, I've been there. I feel for you.
Yeah.
Like that's strong.
I've actually learned a lot from you.
I've learned a lot from you.
And you know what I'm thinking now? In that scenario where I got robbed, I always did have a chip on my shoulder. And it talks about in the spiritual principles that you will attract
right.
violence. And so maybe it was me,
It's crazy.
right?
Because when I was angry,
That's why it's hard to look at. Maybe I'm
Right.
causing the shit and I'm
Yeah.
not a victim. I just had a fucked up attitude.
If we're talking about like looking at ourselves like really fucking honestly, like I think Pat like hit the nail on the head when he said like, if that guy called me that, like I have to know that I am human and that like I'm not. Like I have to know that. I
Right.
don't know that. Some part of
Right.
me is actually convinced that white people are superior.
Right. And you're like mad at
I don't know, like
no. You're like mad
I like
at white.
that.
No, but
it wouldn't bother you if it didn't.
But
didn't
you're
have some
mad
belief.
at us because you believe it,
yeah.
dude. You're
Well, I'm not
crazy.
mad at you guys.
no. I'm
That's
saying. I'm
crazy.
just saying us. 'cause
I'm not.
we're
Well,
white.
also, I'm not mad at white people. I never
Right,
said
right.
that.
No, but
you
no,
can't
no.
put
No,
words in my mouth.
but that's crazy because
No, but
if
you're-
you
you're-
didn't believe it at some level, it wouldn't
It
bother
wouldn't
you.
affect me. Yeah.
No, but you're just mad at like the world. Not anymore. But
well,
maybe,
I just feel like
maybe you were.
the world, like,
still mad at the
well,
world. You can tell.
it's
Look at
weird,
his
dude. I've like talked about this with my dad. It's a fucking trip. Like he will talk about how like in Sri Lanka, like it was a third world country, right? And then like the British came and colonized it, and then Sri Lankans revolutionized and kicked them out. And my dad was like, they should have just kept the British people there because the country was better. They built roads, they created institutions, and they like made it better. And it is true, like there is something like the European people, like there is like they colonize and they like murder a lot, but they also like have this like weird way to like build like a civilization really fast and like figure out like a system. But then here's the other thing is like that my like really extremely left like college professor was like had this like really long explanation about like it's not that, it's only because like white people took power and they're like stealing all people's resources. There's debates, but like part of me like that still like fucks with me, dude. I'm like, why?
Why what?
Like, why do you think Europe is the colonizer? Like, why are they the ones who like teach like build freeways in these like third world countries and shit? And like why isn't like
doesn't
I
it go
don't-
back to the
like-
Roman Empire? And
You're saying like why didn't like the Africans?
Yeah, like
do
why
that?
didn't the Native Americans do it or something?
Right. Well, that's another thing that I sometimes think about is like
That's because we're the
maybe-
white devils, and we're actually with technology destroying the beautiful earth God gave us.
all right.
or yeah. Or sometimes I trip on this, and actually it's funny. Ryan Rich last night, the barber guy, was talking to me about how like he actually fucks with the Empire in Star Wars. He's like, I don't know, man. I think the Empire is low key, and he thinks that that's part of the Mandalorian. They're trying to show how like because the Mandalorian takes place right after the rebels defeated the starship. The
Episode 6.
It takes place right after we destroyed the Death Star, and like shit is fucked up.
They did bring order.
Yes. So like maybe all this shit that we see is fucked up. Like this is gonna be so
even thinking about that
blasphemous
with
to even say this, bro. And I'm gonna apologize even before I say it. Okay. But like, yeah, like what if there's a necessary evil to create order?
Right.
Like this is gonna sound really fucked up, right? But what if I can't even say it.
Just say
Come
it.
on.
I
Say
feel like
it.
I'm with you.
Come
I'm with. Like I know
This
it's
is like horrific.
Okay, let's
And
do
I
it.
do not fuck with Hitler, but what if he was onto something?
Right.
I don't know, dude. Like,
Well, to his people, he was.
right.
I'm just considering the fact that, like, what if, like, all the shit we think is bad is just, like, some necessary evil to control the sheep so that they don't just kill themselves, or I don't know. It's like,
Yeah,
you just
like-
can't see
like
the
what-
fucking bigger
But
picture.
what if Hitler, like his idea was like the Aryan race is like the superior, like blue eyes, blonde hair, right? Which he wasn't even a part of, which is weird.
Yeah.
But imagine if he was right, like then I'd want to be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's still like it still makes all that pain and suffering and horrifying. But we know it to be true, right? On a small level, that like the more pain we go through, and the more like we walk into the conflict, like the better we are later.
Right.
If we make it.
So like I don't know, maybe all that really bad shit was. If all that was it, what if the whole world ended up? What if he was able to? That's like the worst example ever.
He was almost there too.
Like, what if like we were all like living in some utopian society because of what he did?
What's that show on Amazon? There's a show on Amazon. What if
Man
Hitler
in
would
High
have?
Castle.
Yeah, if Hitler would have won the war.
Yeah,
But I also did that with communism because that's my big evil. What if that's ultimately better? What if people need to be controlled?
right.
What if that's just how human beings are?
And like, yeah, I feel like this is like now we're having like a super open-minded conversation.
There's also this too. Every time you go one direction, there's a backlash in the other direction. So like this social media thing that's happening now, it might be a backlash where it's really a positive.
That's
thing.
what I'm thinking.
And even maybe the Trump or whatever, maybe the backlash is going to be, the other direction. Anyway, I don't know if positive or negative even applies anymore now that we're talking like this. But
Well, this election had the most people come out in the history of elections to vote.
that's something.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think we're gonna wrap it up. This is definitely the longest podcast we've ever done. But I just want to say this before we wrap it up. I want to say that it just goes back to after all. What are you gearing?
Oh,
up
sorry.
to?
After what were you saying?
I'm just saying that like after all the stuff we talked about, it just kind of goes back to this idea of like that.
Yeah, love.
Well, like yeah, it sounds corny, but like it's kind of like what we're trying to do.
It's not corny.
No, it's not at
sounds
all.
Yeah,
corny,
it's
but-
not. And like, why do people? Isn't that weird? How like people turn love into something that's corny? Like, why is that corny?
Or even the word God.
Like it's like when Kanye.
You want to know why? Because the wrong people are using it, and they're not really trying to do it.
Right.
That's why. But that's why it's dope when people like us are talking about it, because you wouldn't expect us to be talking about it, and we're actually trying to do it.
Which is why we need people to share this episode, throw it on your feed, tell your
3
friends.
hours.
Wait. Before we end, like what you were saying about like you have to like experience the negative to experience like the positive. There's this South Park quote. It's just so good.
Sure does hurt.
That's cool. I guess you can join up with us if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the graveyard and write poems about death and how pointless life is.
No thanks. I love life.
Huh? But you just got dumped.
Well, yeah, and I'm sad. But at the same time, I'm really happy that something can make me feel that sad. It's like, it makes me feel alive, you know? It makes me feel human. The only way I can feel this sad now is if I felt something really good before. So I have to take the bad with the good. So I guess what I'm feeling is like a beautiful sadness. I guess that sounds stupid.
Yeah. No, Butters, that doesn't sound stupid at all.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Robert.
That's some deep shit.
Dude, Butter is spitting bars.
Wow. I never got into that show. You were obsessed?
I wasn't obsessed, but I was pretty into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know those guys are like geniuses.
And because it's animation, they can do whatever they want.
Like what he said was like, I wouldn't be able to experience this level of bad if I didn't experience this level of high, which is exactly with Jesse. Like I felt the fucking high, but I'm feeling the fucking low too.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't feel that if you know.
You know what's cool about being like a really sensitive artist / alcoholic is that we do feel like really, we just feel in extremes. And I'm like, and just the past couple days, I've been feeling like pretty overwhelmingly like good and grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, because of this house, and it's the future is looking pretty amazing.
The now.
Yeah.
It's feeling pretty amazing.
Now. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's even
it's a
better.
trip. We're actually sitting here.
Right. We're here.
It's my
We're at the
first time.
house.
It's like a different vibe for the podcast here. It like
For sure.
feels like chill and like nobody's around. It's just
Yeah,
us.
but this is also like the worst it's ever gonna be. Meaning,
Right.
like, it's gonna just start looking nicer and being more on
Yeah.
point, and like maybe a little
Order,
warmer. All right, thanks for listening, guys.
Boom.
So I don't know, like, this is gonna need to get compressed. I kind of want to show you.
We went a long time. How long did we go? 3 hours?
Yeah, like when.
So, do you know how to like compress shit, Wikum?
The way I did it when Pippo told me our files were too long is I changed the sample rate. And like
In Final Cut.
Yeah, and like Joe Rogan's sample rate is 128, which is pretty low, but his shit is long.
Well, I found this website that can do it pretty easily. I'll show you. I do it on my other computer, or you know what? It was like an app. Maybe I downloaded. Fuck. I just googled like how to.
Being held at GracelandRanch.com about. Fuck. Stark. But if you pause it, like it'll show all the tracks. No, I see it. Grateful.
So what's the funny thing is I'm gonna end up listening to this podcast.
Yeah, because of this house.
That's what we just recorded.
Yeah. I listened to them all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
So here's mine. And every now and then I log on for validation. But yeah, feel free to peek in the messages. See the dialogue.
Oh shit! I don't even have a compressor on it or anything.
Oh, the plugin.
No, I see it.
Oh, channeling keypad loader.
You guys
Wait, is it episode 100?
So wait, you changed it to 128
Yeah.
instead of 44.
So I used like this homie of mine came and did a photo shoot.
Oh, let me see.
So I used those pictures because they're good quality. Like, so if you're like, yo, Oleg, snap a cool picture of me, he'd be able to take a different picture of you than you would have.
Yeah,
yourself,
bit rate.
you know?
Yeah, no, your pictures are
Yeah.
mine suck.
So you see like the overextended laugh, like
So that's like
Yeah.
that
they
would
just
show.
they eat that
Our
shit
longest podcast that we've made like worked with that 128, but maybe this is longer than that. So
But I don't need to go to 160.
no.
Yeah, and you went to Paris. Oh, they love that stuff too. Well,
Yeah, but you're